And we are live. It's the Manchester United versus Burnley live stream watch along. Smash the like on video. If you're here for the match reaction, links in the video description. Get involved in that. And I think, although I can never predict the future, I think you will be going towards a Manchester United win, because I think Manchester United are going to win this game today rather comfortably. Rather comfortably indeed. But we will see. We will see what happens, because you cannot predict the future unless you've got a time machine. Not going to go down with that. But we are live. We are live, and the team news will be coming through very, very, very soon indeed. But the big news from Manchester United today is that more positivity coming out of Manchester United. Marouane Fellaini is going to leave Manchester United. It's looking very, very, very real now. And that, to me, is absolutely superb. Off to China, don't care where he goes, get out. You've been here for too long. Some people would say that's a little bit harsh, but you know what? For anybody who's been watching this show for any length of time, you will know that I am absolutely, adamantly been saying this for 6 years. Get out of my club. I just don't want him at Manchester United. He's just not a Manchester United player, and I make no apologies for it. You know what? I'd actually be, for anyone saying put some respect on Fellaini's name, you could quite rightly call me a hypocrite if I did. I'd be an absolute hypocrite to say, oh, I wish him all the best. Well, I do actually wish him all the best. I'm not an arsehole, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm not ecstatic that he's out. I'm really happy. I'm really pleased about it. So really, really good. Really, really good. Really, really happy about it. And team news should be coming out very, very soon. 2 minutes, in fact. But what I would say is that what will happen is that I think that we're going to see some changes to Manchester United's team. There's talk that Martial may not start, that Sanchez may start, which is interesting. There's also talk that Bay will not play and that it will be Phil Jones, which I feared. I did fear that, and I hope it won't be true, but it looks like it might be true. And what was the other one? That Ashley Young wouldn't play, so maybe he played Delo. I mean, let's not forget, I did say the other night that there is an element to this game that I think that we are fortunate, whereby that we can pick a certain team for this game and not be too worried. I mean, I actually felt that maybe Lukaku and Sanchez should have played in this game and not in the Arsenal game. It worked out fine. So let's see how it goes. And I'll be absolutely stunned. Not only if we don't win tonight, but I'd be surprised if Arsenal don't beat Cardiff as well. I think it's more about how many goals we can score, and I know that's a little bit condescending, but I do. I mean, that's the predicted lineup. It's the team that I went with. I guarantee it's not going to be quite right, but we will have that confirmed for you in a moment. We all know Jones would play. That's why Bailly played in the FA Cup, says Hal Noor. Yeah, I don't agree with that. But I think that's healthy. I think that's very, very healthy. I mean, it's very hard to disagree with anything Ollie does anyway, because he's going for 9 wins from 9 and he's got rid of Fellaini. I think, you know what, I'd give him a 10-year contract just for doing that. I don't care if he's got Phil Jones up front tonight. If Fellaini's not a United player in a month's time, he's done what needed to be done, isn't it? So team news is out. Let's read it out for you. De Gea, Young, Lindelof, Jones, Shaw, Matic, Andreas Pereira plays instead of Carrera. Pogba, Mata, Rashford, Lukaku. So, no Martial. Okay. Right. Okay. Martial not part of the team, which is... and no Bailly, is it? Altogether. Martial and Bailly left out. I mean, I don't know about that. This is, I mean, I suppose, look, I love Ollie. He's a fantastic manager, what he's doing at Manchester United. But I suppose this is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem, is that you've got to manipulate a situation to get Lukaku into your team, haven't you? Because he's paid so much money for him. And yeah, I mean, I'm very, very pleased that Andreas Pereira is playing. Says Paul Robinson, get it done, lad. I'm very, very pleased about that. But I mean, look, Lukaku can't fail in a game like this, and some would say he got 2 assists on Friday night, so he deserves to start. And if he's going to play, you should play him in this sort of game. And you've got to sort of rotate your squad a little bit with the tough games that we've got coming up. But and the same, Patrick says, why Mata? I did quite fancy Mata to start today, because if you can't play Mata at home against Burnley, who are going to defend and sit back, I think playing Mata is a good idea. And to be honest with you, somebody's got to be left out. Apparently Martial is ill. So he didn't travel, so probably has got a bit of a knock. And to be honest with you, not everybody can make the bench. Eric Bailly, I would have thought that, and Manan's right, it's rotation marks, pure and simple. Remember, we've got tough fixtures in March coming up. And to be honest with you, if Phil Jones is going to play games, if Juan Mata is going to play games, if Lukaku's going to play games, I'd rather they played in a game like this. Paul Robinson says that it's a defining game for Andres Pereira. I think there's an exciting element to this game now, actually, isn't there? There is a very exciting element. Such a strange lineup, says Oliver Hall. We got Ross in the house. Hi Ross, how you doing, pal? I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. I don't know why. Let's have a look. This happened with Marcus the other day as well. Why would I not be able to hear Ross? Let's have a look. Hello? 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 Can you hear me? I can't hear him. Anyway, let's just crack on. I don't know why I can't hear him on that at the moment, but a bit weird. This happened the other day with Marcus as well, and I can't remember what it was that did it. So let me just have a quick look. Not what you want to be doing when you're live, to be honest with you, but there you go. So let's have a look. Microphone. I did this last time. It's really annoying. Sorry about this, everybody, but it's rather important. Okay. Let's see if we can get this going.
Hello, mate.
Yeah, it's all right. It was my end again. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but at least it's sorted. So, give us your thoughts on the team news. Obviously, let me just run through it for those because I've got to change the team myself. It's De Gea back in goal. Young is captain at right back. Lindelof and Jones comes back in with Luke Shaw. Matic, Andreas Pereira and Pogba. Mata, Rashford, Lukaku. Herrera's on the bench. Lingard's on the bench. Fred's on the bench, Smalling, Delot and Alexis Sanchez. No Martial, I think he may be injured. No Eric Bailly, we don't know about that. But this fits in quite... I mean, the positive for me, Ross, is that Andres Pereira's starting, because I did say this on the preview yesterday. I've got a feeling from what Ollie said and the way Pereira's been on the bench quite a lot, I actually think Pereira is the fourth midfielder. If Herrera's out or Pogba's out or Matic is out, I think it's Pereira, then Fred, and that's been proved tonight.
Yeah, I think what he's doing is assembling players to replace certain players, and I think Pereira at the minute is the natural Herrera replacement. And I think if, God forbid, Pogba did get injured or did need a rest, I'm not saying they're the same player at all, but I think you'd probably see Fred go in there with that. But that's the biggest positive of that team sheet today. Pereira, suppressed under a crap manager. We all know he's a talent. You don't pick up Brazil caps for fun. And it's going to be really enjoyable watching him tonight. That's the positive. There is a couple of negatives for me, though.
Go on then, tell us your negatives.
I don't really like the fact Lukaku's starting tonight. Not because he didn't play bad. It just means Rashford's out on the wing. And for a player that's flourished as a striker, I think it's really poor taste to put him out on the wing. I'm really disappointed in that. And do you know what? I've been slagging him off for the last few months, but I thought Bailly put in a really good performance, and I'd like to see him again because my issue with Bailly is consistency and his injury record. But the only way you're going to get better at that is to get a run of games. Putting Phil Jones back in centre back, I find a bizarre decision.
Well, the rumour is around Phil Jones, and I've said this a few times, the rumour is around Phil Jones that he gets on very, very well with a lot of the coaching staff, and there may be a little bit of an element of favouritism, which amazes me at this high-end level, but it would go some way to explain how Phil Jones is still, we can talk about Fellaini, I'm sure we will, but I mean, Phil Jones, talk about the FA Cup against Chelsea. How many games has he cost us? And he still manages to get into our first team. And I don't even understand why. I've got to be honest, I've given Fellaini a bit of stick today. I really think he's a bang average centre-back. And again, I would have played Smalling over him. I certainly would have played Bay. So the Phil Jones thing, I don't agree with, but you can't argue with what Ollie's doing at the moment. It's absolutely amazing. Do you not think we might play a 4-4-2 though? There's some people thinking we may play a 4-4-2, but I can't. It's clearly a 4-3-3. I mean, where would you get your width in a 4-4-2? It can't be Mata and Pereira. I think it's quite clearly going to be Mata, Lukaku and Rashford as the three, with Pereira doing the Herrera role, like you say.
Yeah, it's going to be Man United's classic lopsided 4-3-3 with no right midfielder, whereas Mata cuts inside. I really like the Mata substitute. I didn't call that, and I couldn't see Mata playing today. Took me by surprise, but I like it. Lukaku took me by surprise. I don't like it. I would love to have seen Martial play again today, or even Sanchez, to be honest. Either one of them. Lukaku's a great player. He's going to do great things for us this season. Against Burnley, they're going to sit back. Is Lukaku going to unlock a defence? No, I don't think so. So, I struggle with that one. And you just said, I do struggle with Phil Jones a little bit. But he'll probably put in a great performance today, and I hope they all do. And I can see 9 out of 9 come in and keep it going.
Jesse plays like Muller. In Germany, they call Muller the space finder. Both score a decent number of goals just by doing that. I mean, I'd say Lingard's probably been rested. I would hope that Martial's obviously got a knock and been left out for that, because, I mean, I can't see any other reason why you would leave a player out of that quality. I did actually call that Mata would play in this game, Ross, because I just felt that he sort of gave a hint away yesterday in his press conference when people were talking about Mason Greenwood, and he said, look, I've got Lukaku, Sanchez and Mata, who are not in my first team, but they need game time. And Greenwood's got to get ahead of them first. And I thought, well, yeah. And they're trying to get Mata to sign a new contract as well. So if you can't play Juan Mata at home against Burnley, you may as well just pack his bags and get him a flight to Benidorm now, because it's not. There's no way. And also, as you said, Burnley are going to sit back. So Mata's lack of pace, etc. This is the perfect game for Juan Mata at home.
It is, and he is the perfect guy to unlock a defence when teams are sitting back, and we're going to presume that's what Burnley are going to do today. So yeah, that would be the tactical decision behind that. But going forward, Mata's new contract, I'm not sure myself, to be honest. I love the guy. I'd love to see him at United possibly next season. But beyond that, I think we need to be looking at the Perisic's and Pulisic. I know he's going to Chelsea. We need to get in players of that ilk and keep an hold of Juan Mata when he goes into his twilight years. I'm not sure it's going to help us moving forward.
No, it is interesting, certainly. Do you think that Fred will be starting player next season for United, says Luke Skywalker, who's barely played anything and quite surprised over his lack of game time? He's got to grab his opportunity when it comes through, really. That's just the same as most people, to be honest with you, hasn't he? What I would say about Mata is, and I've said this a few times, is that I do like Juan Mata, but I do wonder about his... look, to be totally honest with you, if he went and played for... if he left Manchester United, I wouldn't be massively bothered, I've got to be honest with you. I think he's sort of coming towards the end of his career, and you've got to look at what he can offer to Manchester United. But in a game like this tonight, I think it's absolutely fine to play him in a game like this, and I think he'll do a good job. I mean, Burnley, when you look at their sort of stats there, Ross, they have won 3 in the last 5, and they drew last time out. They're much improved. To be honest with you, from what I saw of them when Mourinho beat them back in August, they looked an absolute shambles. I'm sure they'll be well organised. That's the way sort of Dyche goes. Is there any chance of an upset tonight?
Last time Burnley come to Old Trafford, I was sitting behind the goal and watched them go 2-0 up, and I think we scraped it 2-2 with Jesse Lingard. So you never write Burnley off. Sean Dyche is a fantastic manager, and we cannot be complacent tonight. We always say this: these games are almost bigger than the big games, because you can afford to lose the big games. You almost expect it in a little way, but this is unlosable tonight. There must be 3 points. It has to be 9 out of 9, and top 4's coming our way. I
presume everybody's stream at home is working absolutely fine. Mine's not, and I've got no idea why, but it seems to be working fine for everybody else. Please do smash a like on the video. Just won't play for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. No, it's not having it. I don't know what's going on there. Right. I wonder if it's something to do with that. If I turn that off. It was something to do with that. Okay, I figured it out now. There we go. Right. What time is kickoff, says Hanand. He's kicking off at 8 o'clock. Let's talk about... well, let me go through the team news because it's now accurate there. Those people joining us a little bit late. So De Gea's in goal. Ashley Young's right back. You've got Lindelof and Jones comes back in. Shaw, Matic, Pereira. Not Herrera. Pereira and Pogba. With Mata, Lukaku and Rashford. That's the starting lineup. And on the bench, you've got Romero, Dalot, Smalling, Fred, Herrera, Lingard and Alexi. No Martial and no Eric Bailly tonight. And we also have got a very strong rumour that Marouane Fellaini will leave Manchester United. Ross, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts were absolutely brilliant. I think we've all seen this coming since Solskjaer took over. The writing was on the wall, to be honest. I think what a move that was. The only issue is, and I hate to put a downer on this, is that Guillem Ballbag has tweeted out that it's been guaranteed confirmed, which basically means he's not going. But look, let's hope he's actually right this time and Fellaini is going. And it's great. It's a great move for our club, because we get rid of a problem and we get some money for this problem. And it's a great move for Fellaini, who isn't a bad person. I know your agenda isn't personal with him. It's against what he does to our team. He's a great guy. He works hard, and he'll probably go over to the Chinese league, where I don't know if it's racist for me to say, but they are quite short over there. And he will just dominate. I think it's a great signing for them, and it's a great for United to get rid of.
Yeah, 7 million. Some people are saying it's not enough. Personally, I think a packet of quavers would have done. Maybe some prawn crackers, and a bit of egg fried rice. But it's a brilliant Chinese takeaway. I certainly felt like having a Chinese tonight. If I hadn't had my pasta cooking, I think I would have ordered one. It certainly got me in the mood. But look, very happy. And again, I mean, it's just funny, isn't it, that 6 years Marouane Fellaini's been at Manchester United. 3 so-called better managers than Ollie felt that he was a player for Manchester United, despite many protestations from many Manchester United fans that he just wasn't a United player. Ollie's come in as an interim manager, and 6 weeks in, he's got rid of him. It just shows you that everybody's impressed with Ollie because he's so in tune with what Manchester United should be. The results have been good. What he's been saying publicly has been very good. His promotion of youth and like Pereira playing tonight, you never would have seen that under Mourinho. All very, very, very good. And he gets rid of Fellaini. I think he just gets what Manchester United's all about. Yeah, and
you know what? During that Arsenal game, I celebrated a substitute more than I celebrated some of them goals. Rashford and Martial coming on was just unbelievable. And if that was Jose, Fellaini was coming on then, and we all knew it. We go long ball football, he can defend the corner, all that. No, let's go and score another goal. That's the mentality. He hasn't brought that to the club. He's brought it back.
Yeah.
And that's what we're about. And long may that continue. And you know what? There's another manager that's been linked to the job that has just absolutely damaged his chances of getting it. And I think from what he said in his press conferences, Pochettino, you can lose a job in a press conference. I honestly thought David Moyes sacked himself from press conferences. I think Solskjaer's got to be the leading candidate by a long mile at the minute.
I think if we're talking about Pochettino, you're probably right. I mean, it can turn around in a month. I mean, we look at the Chelsea game, the PSG, the Liverpool. If we were to get smashed in all 3 games, I think Ollie would probably not be the favourite again. It can change. It could be a yo-yo ride. But I suppose the only one I would say it's been very, very quiet around Zidane. And I just think, Zidane cannot harm his credentials. He's a back-to-back triple Champions League winner. He's out of a job. I personally don't think we are looking at him. But if we were, then maybe he would be somebody. DT Anger Management Counsellor says, just wanted to say that you, Mark, are the most genuine guy I've seen on YouTube. You never bullshit. Your opinions are so on point all the time, and you dealt with DT in the most mature way. It's almost as if I did that contribution myself, isn't it? But I didn't, because my hands are here. Thanks for the contribution, pal. And David Mills says, do you think Lukaku Mata will switch positions and play more fluid? I think Lukaku can do well on the right. Yeah, well, he was very good off the right the other day, wasn't he? And Nicholas P says, "Dear Chinese delegates, thank you for coming. Take my word that Fellaini is a wonderful talent, a rock in the midfield with outstanding vision." And I don't think it is wrong of you, Ross, actually, just on that to say that, he probably will be a very, very good player in China. One, because they're shit, and two, I would say statistically Chinese people are a lot smaller than Europeans, and Fellaini is taller than your average European. So if they can sort out the hoofball, then he could be a major asset for them. So, at the end of the day, he's going there to retire, isn't he? He's going there to earn a load of money, just like Moussa Dembele. But whatever, all the best to him. That's what I say. What's your score prediction for tonight?
I'm predicting United to win 3-0. I think a clean sheet with that rock of Phil Jones at the back. But no, joking aside, I think we will keep a clean sheet, and that'll just be down to the relentless attacking that I think we'll do. And then one thing I would like to see is Pogba rested today after about 60 minutes. I think we've got to keep him fit, keep him firing. And by saying that, I want the game over by 60 minutes as well. And then give Fred a little run up.
Well, there's two things about tonight, actually, and then there's a question I want to ask from James in the live comments, because I think it's a very good one. There's two things I want to say about tonight. One, it's not only Burnley, and, in some ways, has that team selection sort of been a little bit too over the top with the changes? When you think about, we didn't go with our strongest team against Arsenal, the league's what it's all about, and Arsenal have got a 3-goal better goal difference than us. I think Chelsea have got a 7 or 8 goal difference better than us. So tonight, Arsenal play Cardiff. If Arsenal beat Cardiff 4-0 and we only beat Burnley 1-0, they double their goal difference to 6, which is like another point. So we can't be complacent there. We can't just keep, let's give him a game, let's give him a game. We've got to bloody, I think we will win tonight, but we've got to go for goals as well. That's really important. So the goal difference is important tonight. Also, on a more positive note, if we win tonight, I think he'll win it anyway, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer absolutely wraps up Manager of the Month in his first full month of Manchester United manager, because he's won every single game in January in the Premier League. So, I mean, that's a nice little bonus as well, because, to win Manager of the Month in your first month at Manchester United, the Messi was taken over, that's something I'm really, really happy about tonight, as and when we win.
Yeah, absolutely. But the changes are tactical, but all of the players, it's not like they're under Jose, they're all hungry. And even Mata could be a little tactical masterclass, because you got a player, the club are basically saying to him, if you want 140 grand a week, go out there tonight and prove it. And Mata's going to be running his nuts off. Every player in that front three have got another, Rashford on the left's got Martial on the bench waiting to go. That's going to make you up your game, and that's the same with all of them players. So, although it is, quite a different team, I think it's definitely good enough, because I thought we conceded against Arsenal with a B team, and they put in a performance like that. So, although, Burnley are good, this team is more than enough to go steamroller this team.
And I hope we do. I mean, that's the thing I really want from tonight. I really want us to absolutely smash it, and I'm sure that we will. And it is, I think, we've obviously got the FA Cup draw. I'll ask you about that in a moment, Ross. But we have got, I think we've got 3 league games if you include tonight. Well, I should have a look in the bottom right-hand corner, actually. We've got Burnley, Leicester and Fulham in the league before we play PSG. And obviously we've got Chelsea to come as well in the Cup after that. So it's all about the league over the next 3 games. And with Arsenal playing Man City at the weekend and Chelsea playing Man City the week after, 9 points. It's really important that we win these next 3 games. And I think tonight everyone expects it. But Leicester at the weekend, I think that's a toughie. Fulham, you never know away from home, but we should be okay with that. But I think it's very important we take 9 points, and it's very important that we score a lot of goals, because in February, I know we're all going, we're going to get top 4, but when we're playing Liverpool and Arsenal and Man City in February and March, our rivals have got easier games. So it's very important that we do win the next 3 games, and we do, almost get ourselves nestled into that 4th spot.
Absolutely, but I honestly, I'm probably going to sound so biased here. I am, but I think we're favourites for that 4th spot at the minute.
Definitely.
If you look at our form, Tottenham are going to drop out. If you ask me, I don't think they've got a hope in hell's chance now, and I'll back them to drop points either tonight or tomorrow whenever they're playing. I think it's ours to lose at the minute, and at the minute, and I cannot remember the last time I said this, anyone that gets put in front of this team, and I'm talking Chelsea with that FA Cup draw as well, I can't see us losing it. I really can't. They look hungry. They look fit. We've got a good rotation. Players shouldn't be getting overplayed. I know it's a tough run of fixtures, but this, nights like tonight, if this team can prove that it can go out and steamroll a Burnley, if it can, it will give Ollie the confidence on picking teams like this in the future. So these players have got a massive job to do, not just for tonight, but going forward over this heavily congested run of fixtures. So I'm backing us all the way. And yeah, you've got to get nights like tonight out of the way, Fulham away as well. And then we've got the big one, which is PSG, which I cannot wait for.
The Burnley team, if anyone cares, is Heaton, Bardsley, Tarkowski, me, Taylor, Cork, Westwood, Hendrick, McNeil, Barnes, Wood. Basically, they're a championship side in the Premier League, and we really should be beating them. And I want to see a lot of goals tonight, and maybe that's why, Lukaku's obviously playing because Martial's been rested, but he could have gone with Sanchez. He's gone with Lukaku. And I think, actually, you know what, Ross? He's made the right choice there. I mean, I know we're all a bit concerned that Lukaku's back in the team, but Martial's clearly not fit. Somebody's got to come in. It's Lukaku or Sanchez. And to be honest with you, I know Sanchez scored against Arsenal, but I don't think he had a brilliant game. I think Lukaku had the better game. So at least Ollie's being consistent with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to see Sanchez tonight. I think there's no doubt about it. You rarely see Mata go past 60 minutes these days. And I think there's a reason for it because he runs out of steam. So we will see him tonight. And I'll be pleased to. I actually thought he had a good half against Arsenal. I know he got slated by other people. I do think I'll watch Sanchez through rose-tinted glasses, though, because I really do want him to succeed. But,
I think the great thing about Sanchez is, and it's a bit like Pereira tonight, is they're going to get a lot of game time. They're going to get a lot of game time. His rotation has been already, despite the brilliant results, he's also rotated a lot. He does use his subs, like he brought Rashford and Martial on for 20 minutes, and Lukaku getting game time tonight. So nobody ever really gets frozen out.
Absolutely.
Apart from Fellaini.
And I think with that changes the performances of the players. Because under Jose, Pereira, if he'd have got given this start tonight, would have gone out there knowing one mistake and his United career's over. Now, he will have the licence under Ollie to make mistakes, because mistakes means you're actually trying to do something imaginative. So he'll be totally relaxed tonight. And that relaxation, it breeds into the team. You can see how relaxed and composed they all are on the ball, moving it quick. So this is why tonight, I think for all of us, Pereira is the most exciting thing to watch. And we do love watching, new players. And that's crazy, new player. But it's like a new signing, because the guy was completely outcasted by Jose for what I believe, no reason whatsoever. So fantastic that he stuck around. He's worked hard, and I'm so happy to see him back tonight.
Just to ask this question that James put in the live comments, let me see if I can find it and it's still there. He said, I know it's Burnley, but this is a terrible lineup. That's from James Wishney. I mean, the only thing I would say about that, Ross, is that, look, I can only be consistent. I don't really like Phil Jones playing with Lindelof because they're not very good in the air. And I think Burnley are very good in the air. So that's a potential weakness, and we saw it against Brighton. So, but the Lukaku one, it's not ideal, but it's explained by the fact that Martial's injured. The Mata one is explained by the fact that if you can't play Juan Mata at home against Burnley, what's the point in having him? You've got to keep these squad players. I'm sure Ollie would probably like to pick his best 11, but he's got a very, very congested February and March. It only takes what's happened to Spurs and Arsenal, because it happens around this time of year. Maybe you lose Lingard injured, your Rashford gets injured, Martial gets injured. You need these players. We saw it actually with Pereira and Fred against Valencia, didn't we, in December? They played, but they were clearly nowhere near match fit because Mourinho hadn't kept his squad hot. And I think that's what tonight's all about. It's about keeping some of those players like your Matters, keeping them involved and keeping them hot. And if you can't do it against Burnley at home, especially when you look at the fixtures coming up, we've got 2 away games, you wouldn't want to do it in those. Then you've got the tough games. Tonight's an ideal opportunity to do that. So I understand why people are not happy with the team, but I don't think it's something to moan about. Yeah,
and Lingard was always going to be dropped today, rightly so. He played, I think it was 90 minutes in our last game, or a good 60, 70, and then he played 90 minutes against Arsenal. He was always going to be dropped. It was just Mata did surprise me. But then, mate, he's showing a little bit of tactical nous here, because you know that United are going to have all the ball. do you need to I know Martial may be injured, but do you need to play these quick players when you're never really going to get in behind in a team like Burnley? It's about unlocking that back four. And I'm sure that they'll have a game plan tonight. We don't really know how they're going to line up, although we suspect it's 4-3-3. Mate, roll on. I think we're going to do it tonight. And I'm just every game, it's Burnley midweek, Tuesday. But I just cannot wait to watch this game. And that's the Ollie factor for me. Like I say, what that guy has done. Manager of the month. Give him manager of the bloody season.
Well, you know what? You're right as well, because Pereira, as we quite rightly started on, is the one that's got us excited. We're big fans of Pereira. He's out of contract in the summer. If you want him to sign a new contract, you've got to get him involved. So very excited to see what he can do from the start, because I'm a firm believer in that. I don't really give a shit about players coming on for the last 20 minutes, youngsters, whatever. I mean, okay, it's good, but teams are tired then, games are maybe over, but even if they're not, they're stretched. From minute one is when you see what a player's all about. So really excited to see Pereira. I really like Luke Shaw. I thought he was brilliant against Arsenal. I want to see him having another good game. Lindelof obviously as well. Pogba, we've not even mentioned him. I mean, what can he just keep his great form up as well? And also I am excited by Lukaku, because the more attacking players we've got playing well, the better. Of course, I'm going to be honest, Ross. My concern is I don't want Lukaku anywhere near our best 11. Nowhere near it. I want Rashford, Martial and Lingard. Oh. I don't know what went wrong there. What's gone in here? We seem to have lost Ross. Mandy Kristen Petterson says, amazing show. I've been going through a hard time lately, but the United stand provides just the break I need to relax and have some fun. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you for that, Mandy. Really appreciate that. And Nicholas P says, 70 minutes, Lingard and Sanchez on for Mata and Lukaku. We should hopefully bag a few goals when Burnley run out of steam. I think an early goal would be good for United tonight. I think it really would. And hopefully we'll get it. Let me see if I can get him back on. Hi, pal, you're right.
Sorry, my phone decided to turn itself off for no apparent reason.
No worries. AJ says, hello from Chicago fans. Mark, it's been too long since we heard you singing. I might sing a bit later, but let's keep it on the down low for now. But I forgot what we were talking about, Ross. I think I was on about, the general squad and getting it, sharp. And look, I hope Lukaku plays well tonight, but I suppose I would agree with everybody. I'm not going to pretend that I want Lukaku anywhere near our starting lineup. Our best three is Martial, Rashford and Lingard, and Sanchez, Mata, Lukaku. They'd have to do more than score a couple of goals against Burnley for me to change my mind about that, because I just love the fluidity of that three.
I've got a little bit of a question for you, Mark, actually. Free kick just outside the box, pretty much central. Who are you giving it to, Carrera or Rashford?
Pereira or Rashford?
Pereira.
Oh, I mean, would they get on it? I mean, you've got Mata today, you've got Pogba today,
there,
and let's not forget, wasn't it against Arsenal? We let Lukaku take a free kick. I mean, what the hell was that all about? I mean, you've just reminded me that. We had a good free kick position against Arsenal, and we let Lukaku take it, which was just stunning. But I think Pereira's got the best dead ball technique in the squad, to be honest.
Yeah, mate, I'd go with that, to be honest. Although Rashford did score that great goal on Ollie's first game, there was a little bit of luck involved for me. And with Pereira, I said it at the start of the season, set pieces, corners, free kicks. We don't score enough goals from corners, and I think it's because of the delivery. So I'd give it to him tonight, Pereira. Let him at all the set pieces.
Definitely. Well, thanks for coming on, pal. I really appreciate it. You're going 3-0. Yes,
mate. Cheers. Sorry about the technical difficulties there.
No, as long as it's from your end, I'm never that bothered. I just start worrying when it's mine.
No, that was me that time.
All right, mate. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, pal.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks to Ross for coming on, talking about the team news again. And left side would have to be Mata, says Artem Jushkov. Mason Greenwood should be on free kicks. Give him time. Give him time. And matter. Lukaku should never ever take a free kick, says Najib Khan. I'd forgotten all about that because it was such a great result on Friday night and it sort of went into the weekend, didn't it? But I must admit, it's just come back into my head. What the hell was Lukaku doing taking a free kick on the edge of the box against Arsenal? I mean, come on. You're not that man. You're never going to be that man. You've not got Tekka's role. You're basically, people give you chances in and around the box and you've got a good shot on you, but you're not a technician. You know, you're not somebody who whips it over the ball into the top corner. You smash it and hope, and I don't want to see that again. And we've got lots of options tonight. So, apparently Martial is injured. A lot of people asking about that. Anthony Martial is injured. I mean, let me just get that confirmed because MUTV was saying that. So I pretty much presume that is the case. So Martial carrying a bit of a knock, and it's a bit of a shame. Not involved because of injury. That's from the ESPN as well. He's picked up an injury while he's not involved tonight. That's from MUTV. So Anthony Martial out through injury. 100%. Loads and loads of people that I follow saying that is the case. I'm not too sure about Eric Bailly. I can have a quick look for you and see if there's anything about him. I don't understand why Eric Bailly probably... I personally would have started Eric Bailly tonight. I think he's done more than enough to do that and deserve that. But what do I know over a man that's going to get 9 wins in a row tonight and confirm himself as the what's going on here? I hate technology sometimes. Just stop doing what I'm trying to get you to do. I don't want you to do that. I'm trying to do this. Let's have a look. So get your score predictions in the live comments. No, I can't find anything for you on Eric Bailly, to be honest. So I don't know what that's all about, but he's certainly not involved. Kickoff time, I'll speak the truth. I'll speak the truth as well. It's in 27 minutes' time. It's not on in the UK, which is not on. It's a bloody joke. I'm getting fed up of this now. But we have got Jared who'll be joining me, who is in America, where they can watch it. And don't worry, we'll have everything covered for you as per usual, keeping you update to it with real time. And... Mobius Drummer says, Delo set up a goal and had his best game in a United shirt versus Brighton. Why are we playing young when he'll inevitably start against Leicester away? It's a good point. Look, I always think it's very important that you don't just jump on a bandwagon and assume everything's right. I've worked for people in the past that I loved working for, but they weren't perfect. And there's no way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is perfect. There are still going to be things that you disagree with. There'll be some people looking at that team news tonight and they'll be like, I'm not happy. For me, there are changes I would make, but I understand why he's picked that team tonight. Martial's injured. You've got to bring somebody in. I probably would have started Lukaku over Sanchez. Pereira's starting. Very, very good squad rotation. Lingard's being rested. Good squad rotation. Phil Jones at centre-back. Not for me. That's the only one I'm not very, very happy with. But, Phil Jones is well liked at Manchester United. Apparently he's really good mates with Mike Phelan and Michael Carrick. And, that goes a long way, doesn't it? Obviously, because I can't understand why he's starting. But I'm not bothered. I'm not really bothered about it. Tonight, to me, as I said, is about 3 points. But more importantly, with Arsenal playing Cardiff and our goal difference 3 worse than theirs, we've got to at least better Arsenal's score tonight by 1 goal. Because otherwise, oh yeah, we've won, but we don't want to be losing ground. And people say, well, you're not losing ground because it's the same points. But goal difference, as we know in the past, goal difference can be very, very costly at the end. So tonight's not about, let's have a good game and just get over the line. I think that's where we messed up against Brighton. That 2-1 win should have been 4-0, really. We can't afford that tonight. We've got to be on it all the time. And if people drop, get them off. Get somebody else on the bench who's hungry. Keep it up, Mark. Unable to make it to the game today, but happy to listen to it on here, says Elliot Baker. Thank you, Elliot. Thanks for the contribution as well. Remember, you can do that through the super chat option, which is the $ on the live comments. And please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved with the United Stand. Flex is there tonight. He's had a bit of a trek up from London. Really bad weather in the UK, and I think it's going to be bad weather on Thursday. I don't think it's impacted on any of the games. There's a full Premier League calendar tonight and tomorrow night, so we'll keep you updated with that as well. But Flex will be there doing the fan cam, so make sure you are subscribed and you've got your notifications on so you can see the fan reaction tonight. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the fans have got to say about people like Pereira. Peter Jewel Samuelson says, so happy for the channel, Mark. I'm in Gran Canaria tonight. Come on, United. Can't see the game down here. We'll keep you updated. If you can't see the game, don't stress about it. We'll be keeping you updated in real time, talking about what's going on. But if you're in Gran Canaria, I hope it's warm. It's bloody freezing here. Tarella JT is sub to the channel. High five, man. High five. 57-0, says Moses McCree. I would love that. Badder, it's not a very nice thing to say, is it? It's not for fools, really. It's supporting the channel. Mini Diver, let's hope so, says Cyber West. Don't know what they're talking about. And you think United won't lose till the end of the season, says Hadas Said. There's something that's been in my head for a while. So we're well into a show here. It's not at the start of an 8 o'clock show in the week. This is right now, and it's been in my head. So I'm just going to do this as a live thing for everybody who's watching. Let's just discuss this for a minute. Manchester United have got 44 points at the moment, right? We've got 15 games left. That's 45 points. So we could get 89 points if we won every single game. Would 89 points be enough to win this title? No, it wouldn't, because I think Liverpool are on 60 points and they've got 15 games left, so they could get 105 points, so they're not going to drop 16. So no, we can't win the title. I was just wondering, if United won every single game between now and the end of the season, could they win the league? But they can't, because Liverpool are just not going to drop 16 points between now and the end of the season, and neither are Manchester City going to drop 12 points on us. So, I've answered my own question there, but I did just want to keep an eye on it. Isn't it nice how there are a load of games tonight, but we're not looking at what Watford are doing or what Bournemouth are doing? They're playing tomorrow night anyway. But remember when we were in 6th and we were like, oh God, we might be back down to 8th under Mourinho? Those days are long gone. But Fulham play Brighton, Huddersfield Everton, Wolves West Ham, United Burnley, Newcastle Man City and Arsenal Cardiff. Well, it's Arsenal Cardiff we'll be keeping an eye on tonight. But no, look, I'm not expecting anything like that. I'll be very, very surprised if Arsenal don't win that. It's written in the stars. Illa says Liverpool don't win the Premier League. Never. I hope Liverpool don't win the Premier League. Look, it's a tough choice, isn't it? Man City or Liverpool, but for me, it's got to be. It's got to be Man City. Kieran says you were getting a bit carried away there. Well, no, I was just looking at the maximum points we could get, and 89 points is a lot of points. And I think when you look over the last few seasons, 89 points would win titles over some previous years, but it won't win it this year. No way. When will Fellaini be announced? I think that there's somebody, Sam Smith Patel's just asked about Fellaini. I have a feeling it'll either be announced tomorrow or it could be announced tonight by Ollie in his post-match discussion. So yeah, it can't. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Arsenal going to get slapped at the Spy City at the weekend, says Sam A. Well, we want that for two reasons. I mean, Man City play Arsenal at home on Sunday, and then the following week they play Chelsea at home. So we want to smack. We never should want City to win, but you've got to look at the bigger picture here. Do you want Liverpool or Man City to win the league? Well, if you want Man City, you need City to win their games. But also, we're chasing Arsenal and Chelsea. So there's a double positive for us there. City winning those games keeps them closer to Liverpool. But also, City winning those games means the people we're closer to drop points. And if Chelsea drop points and we win at the weekend, we will go above them. We'll be level with them. If Arsenal drop points at the weekend, we'll go above them. So, yeah, I've got no qualms about saying that. United are not on the TV in the UK. Absolute load of shite, I know, but we're not. It's I think they've got the Man City game against Newcastle. I think it's just about equality and sharing it out because no one's interested in that game. But we will be keeping you up to date. Do not worry about that. Do you think fourth is in the bag, says Max Knight? I'm not as confident as what Ross is, because I think when you look at the fixtures we've got, And in fact, I can just go through them very, very quickly now. The problem that we've got is we need to win these next 3 games. And we'll win tonight, then we need to beat Leicester and Fulham away. The problem comes when we hit February time and you look at our league games after Fulham. Our next league game is Liverpool at home. Then it's Palace away, which, Palace away is a little bit of a banana skin when they could potentially be fighting as well. Liverpool at home, I think we'll win that, but it's a tough game. Southampton at home, you'd expect us to win that. Then we've got Arsenal away on Sunday the 10th of March. And I think when we go to Arsenal, we've got to be at least 4 points ahead of them. We cannot be in a situation where if Arsenal beat us, they go ahead of us. So we need to have a cushion over Arsenal. Then we've got City. That could get moved if we beat Chelsea in the Cup. So that could get moved, but then again it might not, or if City win, of course, which they will do in their game, so that could get moved till the end of April. Then we got Watford, then we got Wolves away, West Ham, Everton away, Chelsea at home, Huddersfield, and then Cardiff. So I know I look at those fixtures and I think under Ollie I don't see many points we will be dropping. If I'm totally honest with you, I don't. So, look, I'm confident that we can get top 4, but it's very important that we take 9 points from the next 3. And I know that's a bit greedy because we've just won our last 8 games, but we definitely need to win the next 3 games. We've got to take it to 11 wins in a row. And there's 11 football players on a pitch, so it's symbolic. But no, if we want top 4, we've got to win these next 3 games, because the amazing job Solskjaer has done is amazing. But all it's done is get us back in with a chance. It's now, it's a marathon. It's like starting a marathon and everyone started 5 minutes ahead of you. We've absolutely sprinted to catch the pack up. But what we can't do is, having used all our energy to catch them up, not have anything left to go past them. And that's the challenge. I mean, it's a brilliant analogy, actually. United under Ollie, basically, we were giving everybody a head start in a race. We've caught up with them. And it's just about, can we keep going? Because it's great catching them, but you can't let them go ahead again. We've got to go past them. And to do that, we've got to win the next 3 games, including tonight. And I think we'll win tonight. I think that we will win tonight. But I think Leicester and Fulham are going to be interesting. Fulham had fancies. I think Leicester is a tough game, especially if they sack the manager after they get beaten by Liverpool tomorrow. Chuckers, your score predictions then. Ross said 3-0. I'm sceptical. I'm tempted to go 4-0, and I think I will go 4-0 because I think you should always go with your first hunch. I got the score right on Friday comfortably. So I'm going to go United to win 4-0. But part of me thinks Burnley will have opportunities to whip the ball into our box, which is our weakness because we don't have a tall centre-back. And I also think I'm a little bit worried about the Brighton game where we didn't take that 2-0 lead into a 4-0 lead and it ended up being 2-1. So I want to see the same intensity from United. Squad rotation's not that important for United at the moment. I heard somebody saying you've got to rotate the squad, got to rest Pogba. We're playing tonight, it's Tuesday. We don't play again till Sunday, and then we don't play again till Saturday. So there is a good rest. It's not like we're playing midweek again after this game against Leicester at the weekend. So I want to see some intensity tonight. There's a lot of people on the bench. A lot of people going 4-1. Mason Wallace says 4-1. Clement Henry says 3-0. And Yakov has said that Bay will score. He'll do a job. It'd be a bloody miracle if he does, because he's not even in the squad. 5-3 says Drew Hunter. We'd love a bit of that. Emmanuel Geshin says 3-1. Luna T 3-2. I'm from Norway, says Zombie. Well done. And Jones, for fuck's sake, says Nick Lee. 3-1. A lot of people going 3-1 and 3-0. I'm going to stick with my 4-0. Goal scorers prediction, says Joe. I think goal scorers predictions is very, very difficult. But I would have, if I'd have known he was going to play, I would have put a tenner on Lukaku scoring tonight. I quite fancy Lukaku to score, and I do fancy that, to be honest with you. We should use better players. There is a big time for rest. That team on my right is the right team for tonight. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Stretch the back out. Oh yes. Oh, daddy. Oh, God. You can sit down for too long, when you've got a bad back, and I just needed to give it a bit of a stretch there. That'll do nicely. And Rashford back on the wing. I guess Martial is injured, to Spellicus 66. Yeah, it's a bit. Well, let's see how we line up tonight, because Ross was not happy about that. He was like, I'm not happy that Rashford's out on the wing again. And to be honest with you, I do agree with him. It's like Rashford's been fantastic at number 9. Why are we pushing him out onto the wing? Because who loves to play on the left wing? Alexis Sanchez. So you could have played Sanchez and put Rashford up front. But obviously he wants to play Lukaku. He likes Lukaku. There we go. Arsenal are winning 1-0 apparently, because they kicked off at 6:45. So they're 1-0 up already. That's very, very fast. Very fast indeed. 2 up front, says Michael Cahill. Well, yeah, well, there could be an adjustment to the formation. That would be very exciting if there is. That would be very exciting. Dennis Disco's made a contribution. He says, "Hi Mark, what do you think about Fellaini leaving, and would you replace him with, because we would really need rotation on the CDM position, Goretzka?" I don't know. To be honest with you, quite interesting. We could get a really... Don't be surprised if we get a really exciting end to this transfer window, because we sort of started it and went to the middle of it thinking we're going to do business. Over the last few days, we've been a bit... we're not going to do any business. Then it looks like Fellaini's going. So, we might get somebody in. Yuri Tillemans, Monaco, is very interesting. He's a player that sort of has been linked to United over the last few years when he was at Anderlecht. He went to Monaco. It's not worked out that well. Leicester are in for him. And then there's tentative things about United. And I think it might suit United as a loan deal. It might suit United, Yuri Tillemans. But on the other hand... You look at United, you take Fellaini out the equation, you've got Matic, Herrera and Pogba as your favourites, but then you've got Pereira and Fred and McTominay, so you've got 3 players. The CDM position, you could say, well, we haven't got a backup, but I personally think Herrera can do that role without too much of a problem. I think Pereira can do that role, so you've got 3 people who can play that role. The Herrera role, obviously Fred can play it, Pereira can play it, McTominay can play it. The Pogba role... Again, you could play Pereira there, you could drop Lingard in there. So we have got cover. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get any midfield cover, to be honest. I've had a contribution here from somebody. Somebody, stop me. It's Nate Evans. He says, "Where can you watch the match, my United brother?" I can't shout out where you can watch the match. Legally, you can't watch it in the UK because it's not on the telly. But we will be keeping you updated, because I've got Jared joining me very soon, who is in America, and he will be watching the game. And I'll be keeping you updated as well. I hope it's a 4-4-2 diamonds, says Lothar. Much love from Botswana, mate, says Tato. Yeah, wherever you are in the world, you're all part of the United Stand family, and you're all part of the Manchester United family. So very, very, very welcome. Very, very welcome indeed. Let's just remove Nathan Faulkner for being a prick. There we go. Thank you, Nathan. Bye-bye. And Paul N. Vivo, you cannot do that. So that's your warning. There's a few people in the live comments writing things if you are struggling. Anyway, wow, we've just gone past 10,000 people watching, which is amazing when it's not even kicked off yet. So please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand, a little bit of a plug for it here. It is the United Stand. It is the biggest independent Manchester United fan channel. We are live every night at 8 o'clock. We do fan cams after the game, match reaction. Transfer Daily tomorrow. We'll be back for the last couple of days, but it won't be at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to do it live, I tell you, at about 10 o'clock, because I want to see what's going on with this Fellaini thing as well, and whether there's any prospect of us getting a loan in. So I'll be live at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, UK time, with a Transfer Daily update. Loads to get involved with the United Stand. We had the call in last night on a Monday night at 8 o'clock for all you lots. Loads to get involved with, and lots coming up. So subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, get involved. And Mark, Arsenal didn't score. I didn't think so, because they only just kicked off. Robert Taylor says, "Hi Mark, did you see Memphis mention Chelsea and City as 2 possible destinations for him? No mention of United. What do you think?" Yes, Robert Taylor's very good. Thank you for that contribution. Memphis has apparently come out and said that he likes Lyon, but he'd like to play for a bigger club. And he listed off some teams. He listed off Chelsea, Man City, I think Real Madrid. I don't know whether he mentioned PSG, but United definitely weren't mentioned there. It's interesting because he's spoken very positively about Manchester United recently. So I don't know... I don't really know. I don't know what's going on with that. But some people would have Memphis back, some people wouldn't. For me, I personally, I'd like Memphis back, but then again, I think, to be honest with you, if I'm off, if it's Memphis or Bergwijn or Lozano, I'd probably try something new. Because I just think the pressure on Memphis if he came back would be ridiculous, to be honest with you. At this point, I'll choose to trust Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the players in the lineup, says Stian Andreasen. He certainly deserves that that trust. He certainly does. And here's Jared. Perfect timing. Hi, Jared. How you doing, pal?
Hey, Mark.
How you doing? Excited? Happy with the team news?
Very. I mean, again, I think it's one of those games that we should win anyway, and it's nice to go into a game against a team like Burnley where you feel like you can rotate some people in. So it's good. I'm excited for it. I think we're going to win, so I'm ready for it to kick off.
Any thoughts on the team in relation to Phil Jones? No Bailly, obviously Lukaku instead of Sanchez. You happy with all that?
No, I mean, like, for Jones, of course I'm not happy, but Jones against Burnley is fine. Jones against PSG is not fine. So we should be able to sustain Phil Jones being in this team. I don't know that it's that easy when you're playing against Mbappe, but this isn't Mbappe, so I think we're okay. It's Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the only thing I would say about the Jones thing that concerns me a little bit is who will the centre-backs be against Leicester? Because it's one thing Phil Jones, but I think it may be Phil Jones again. If we play well, I think it will be Phil Jones again. And my only concern about that is, and I'll be happy to be proved wrong on this, is at some point Phil Jones will cost us a win. He will do. He's done it all his career. The cycle of Jones. Comes back from injury, does quite well, makes a mistake, gets injured, and that's the cycle of Jones. So I just hope at some point he just gets moved out of the team for either Smalling or Bay, so we don't have to put up with the calamitous mistake that will cost us a win. But for the moment, I don't think even he could screw it up against Burnley, because I think we've got enough goals at the other end. Andres Pereira starting. That's a lot of eyes on him today.
Very positive. Again, I like the way he worked his way back into the team. I hope he stays. We've all had a lot of faith in him. This will be an interesting run if he gets these next 3 games to show what he can do. I think Burnley, Leicester, Fulham are an unbelievable time for a player like Pereira to work his way into the first team, or at least be a bigger part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that Ander Herrera will come back in at some point, but it's good to see that sort of squad rotation in a game like this, because we certainly wouldn't have seen it under previous managers. And I think it's so important as well because, well, I said this. I mean, I said it on the preview, so I'm glad that it's come to fruition. I said, you know what, it wouldn't surprise me if the fourth midfielder isn't Fred and it's Pereira, and it's been proven tonight. I think Fred will be given opportunities, but at the moment Pereira is ahead of every midfielder apart from the front 3 that play.
Yeah, I mean, again, the midfield right now is so strong, and they're playing so well. I don't think we can have multiple rotations. I'm okay with how this all worked out. Pogba's playing like a superstar. I think we need to see certain people play. I think overall people like Jones, Smalling, they're not going to be long-term solutions at their position. We're working through them. I think most of us would have liked to see a center back come in this winter. So for me, it's nice to see people like Pereira get game time, and hopefully it works out for him and for us.
I think that's a great point, isn't it? Because after the game on Friday night, I had a lot of people saying to me, Mark, we don't need any signings. We don't need to sign a centre-back. We've got Eric Bailly. And I said to a lot of those people, well, that depends if Bailly is going to play. And tonight, he's not playing. So I would say to those people, as you've just said there, we should have signed a centre-back in January, because I don't believe that Phil Jones and Lindelof is a good enough pairing. If Eric Bailly starts playing, then yeah, well, I think we can make it through to the summer. But tonight is a little bit of a concern because we're not seeing that. Having said that, he may be planning to play Chris Smalling and Lindelof, because then you do get somebody. I just think we need that. We need a centre-back to play with Lindelof, who's good in the air.
It's just because we fired Mourinho does not give Woodward and the board a complete pass from not investing in the squad. It's an obvious problem we have. And seeing as what's going on at Tottenham, and you see the injuries that squad has with absolutely no depth, the fact that our board would leave us exposed in these positions, I mean, defensively, if we have a bad injury, we're in very big trouble, and they could have fixed that very easily. I mean, even if you were talking like I would have loved them to sign Koulibaly. Let's say you couldn't get that done. I don't see why you couldn't have gotten a Manolas for £35 million. It's not a bad release clause. I don't know. I think, again, we have penny pinchers at the top of the club, and that's something we're going to have to deal with. I think Solskjaer's given them a cover, honestly. I think everyone's so happy they've just forgotten that the board has not invested a dollar in a very, very doable investment window.
Yeah, look, I think that's a very good point, and it's something I've certainly said, that I think we're in a massive positive situation at the moment. I must admit that I think they should have bought a player in this January transfer window, simply because I think they're going to leave themselves too much to do in the summer. Having said that, they may well be about to rescue themselves, Jared, because if they remove Fellaini, and somebody said to me on January the 1st, the only bit of business we're going to do is get rid of Fellaini, I would have said, where do I sign up for that? Yeah, because I know we could have done a lot better, but if Fellaini's not part of this squad ever again, and I think people are sleeping on this, we are going to get rid of Fellaini forever. He's never going to be in a matchday squad again by the looks of it. Then I must admit, I think that is a good January transfer window, because it's not always about bringing people in. I think we do need to get rid of some Deadwood FC, and he would be a very, very useful one to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the only thing fans deserve to see is progress and looking towards the future. Fellaini is not a part of this club long term, so if the board moves him on, they're doing something. They're not investing like we need them to, but if they're getting rid of people like Fellaini, then they're finally moving Deadwood on, or people that the fans don't want here. It would be nice to be able to have Matic finish the year strong, and then let's see the board sell him first week. Something like that, where you see an older player who has managed to regain some value, and then you get the money back and you reinvest it in a better player. That would be nice to see. But again, I think the board's probably shocked at what's going on right now with Solskjaer, and I don't think they want to screw it up either. I don't think they want to invest and put someone in the squad that can screw up the continuity of what's going on.
Yeah, good point.
I think they're just riding it like we all are. I mean, it's got to be one of the first times where we're going into a fixture of games that are all winnable, and no one's even thinking like, all right, Arsenal's playing Cardiff, Man City are playing, Liverpool's playing. Everyone's just like, whatever. It'll all work itself out, and we're going to get top four. I know that you can't take it for granted, but in the position that we're in, I'm not even considering Arsenal as a threat anymore. They don't look like they can sustain a winning streak, and overall, I think we look better. So if he's given us all positivity, we'll ride that into the summer.
Karim Douji says Pereira to interchange with Mata and play right wing. Yeah, that could happen. And Imrano TV, when are you going to add a sing-along to the Watchalongs? Glory, Glory, Manchester United. That's from Imrano TV. Probably sometime in never. But we are about to kick off, Jared. I will be following you, because I know you will be watching it in real time, because you've got it legally to watch in America. So if you can just let me know when it kicks off, and I'll do the timer there. I suppose
we're doing a moment of silence now, I believe, for that for the player who passed from Cardiff. Yeah, that's kind of it. But they're going to be kicking off a minute or two.
So, I mean, the thing that worries me a little bit, and I think tonight evidences it as well, if we were to lose Pogba at any time in the next 3 months, I don't think we'd be kissing goodbye to top four, but I think we'd be considerably weakened. I think he is massively important to us.
I think you think back to that period of time where Man City lost De Bruyne and there was no cover for him at all. We're in a extremely similar situation where I don't know that there's anybody who can fill in for Pogba. Even people who doubted Pogba, I think Rance said it, it's like, let's just, at this point he's playing like every single person. Nobody could have dreamed this. I mean, he looks exactly like what we bought and more. I'm thrilled. You know, all the other stuff that's kind of surrounded him is in the past. So I think overall, as long as Pogba stays healthy, we're covered. I think the board needs to get cover for Pogba in the summer. But I don't know what to say if he gets injured, because of course we'd be screwed. You know? Yeah, and they're kicking off right now.
Okay, so it's literally gone, yeah?
United are kicking off. Lukaku is about to eat the ball. And then it looks good.
Okay,
yeah,
so we're off. Good. So the timer should be up and running. We're up against Burnley. What was your score prediction, Jared?
I would say 3-1.
3-1. A lot of people went 3-1 and 3-0, so we'll see how that goes. So, any idea on the sort of formation to start off with? A lot of people saying that Lukaku's going up through the middle.
Okay. Yep. I mean, they just off. Rashford's on the left. Pogba's playing a little bit more forward. Matic is behind, I think, covering the defense. They're just working the ball around the back for now. Lukaku actually getting a header on the wing. Good.
Old Trafford is loud and alive. Good to see, says Sandy. Well, the most important thing to say about tonight as well is, for Manchester United, of course, is that we are... it is February the 6th. It's the last home game before February the 6th and the anniversary of the Munich tragedy. So they have got the banner out today, and they did have some things going on before kickoff and outside the ground at the memorial. So I think the crowd are always up for this game, close to that as well. So I don't think there'll be any let up there.
No. I think that... I don't know that a person who's wearing this jersey right now is not up for it. It just doesn't... I mean, it's a whole different vibe around the club. It's what we've been waiting for 4 years. So, I don't know. I'm not even a little worried. And that's bad, because that normally means a problem, but I'm not. I feel like we'll score in the first half, we'll score in the second half, we'll dominate the game, and Burnley will lose.
And how have we started off then, Jared? Are we...
We look like we're composed. Pogba made a beautiful pass to Rashford. They look composed. They're working the ball around. You can tell they're ready to break Burnley down. But nothing too interesting so far.
Apparently, Manchester City are already 1-0 up. I will keep everybody up to date with what's going on in relation to that one as well.
Mm-hmm. Gee, yeah, come on. All right. There's Solskjaer with Carrick. Where's Fred? Fred's on the bench. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy, but it's been good. I mean, the nice thing, too, is who we have on the bench to bring on. I mean, having Sanchez and Lingard, and the way Lingard's been playing, you almost know one of them will be a super sub if needed.
City scored after 25 seconds, says Sebastian Anderson.
I'll take it. I bet them that they would have 4 goals in the first half. So let's see if that happens. We miss Mad Marcus, George.
Burnley long ball, says Ezzy Jr. And why is English football not broadcast in England, but it is in America, says Kyle Wheeler. It's a brilliant question. It's a brilliant question. And it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There we go.
Rashford down the line. Ooh. Look like we're working away in their box. Pogba's got the ball on the edge. Beautiful pass by Pogba. Rashford pass. Oh, all right, we got a corner. Really nice. They've worked the ball around unbelievably well. Now a corner. So here we go. Brighton's are 2-0 on Fulham.
Fucking hell. Fulham are looking terrible. And Ranieri's just not having a lot of luck there, is he? But really,
I like Ranieri. I hope he has luck there.
It's looking like it is the traditional 4-3-3 with Rashford to the left and Mata to the right. Lukaku through the middle.
Mm-hmm. Lindelof had a really nice play. Oh. To Shaw. To Rashford. Oh, really nice shot by Rashford. Blocked by the Burnley defender. But they're threatening already. I mean, we look like we're going to score in the next few minutes. It's just when. Pogba's been playing out on that left side as well.
So we're just 5 minutes in. That's we're going off Jared's clock because he's actually in America watching it. So we're following off Jared's clock, who is watching it in real time. And United started off quite well. 5 minutes gone. A bit of a slower start, but a couple of corners, a couple of half chances. And will be interesting to see who's on the corners, whether they're going to put Pereira or Mata more consistently, and whether we get enough corners to do that. So I really want to see us getting the best out of Pereira's set piece skills tonight, Jared. I certainly don't want to see Luke Shaw taking corners like we did at the Emirates.
No. I mean, again, we have Pereira in there for the ability to have. He's so good on set pieces, and we've had such a problem with it. It'd be great if he can solve that. We're driving the ball. Lukaku had a good first touch. Ooh. It was a horrible pass. So sorry for getting anyone excited. Reg me, we're 4 seconds ahead. Okay.
Aaron says that Sean Dyche isn't a bad manager. I mean, if you look at above Burnley, below me, the last 5 games, when I checked, actually surprised me quite a lot. I mean, they have played a bit of shit. They've played Fulham and Huddersfield and Brighton with the 3 wins that they've had. But, the last 5 games, they've only lost 1. So, I mean, to be honest, I have been calling them the crappiest team in the Premier League all season because I just, every time I've seen them, they're crap. But they've obviously crept up in the last few weeks with a few wins and wouldn't be surprised if they stayed up again. My personal feeling on teams like Burnley is I wish they'd get out of the Premier League because I'd rather have teams like Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday in the league because it'd be more competitive.
I'd love Wednesday in the Premier League. They had a shot when they had Carvajal and they were in the playoff, but they didn't win it. Leeds and Wednesday would be great. Be for great games. Lukaku's also playing well. He's holding the ball well. I mean, you can tell when he can control the ball. He's so strong that he honestly, it's going to be so difficult to get it away from him. It's normally himself who screws it up.
Well, the thing about Lukaku is that we talk about his bad touch, but we're just football fans. He trains every single day with some of the best coaches in football, and you're telling me. I mean, I've joked about it in the past. I'd just take him over to a brick wall and say, smash the ball against that wall and control it, and do it again and again and again and again until you learn how to control the ball and keep it in a close distance and then find a pass. I don't want you to turn into Messi, and I don't want you to turn into Iniesta with your passing ability. I just want you to be able to control the ball and give off a simple pass. And that surely will improve because you can't be a professional footballer who just continually lets it bounce off you like you're a bloody like you're a SpongeBob SquarePants. He's got to be able to do it. And I think we will see an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, again, everyone's improved, so it's all relative, right? Is it going to be sustained improvement, or is it going to be just something that's like a flash in the pan? Because we've seen bad Lukaku, and we don't want to go back to that. Well, all right, nice pass. I mean, Burnley had the goal. Goalkeeper's got it, so nothing that interesting.
Well, Burnley is certainly in it. I mean, there's a lot. I'm reading through some of the comments there. I think they had a shot straight at De Gea from distance, and a lot of people in the live comments talking about Phil Jones. Quesi's just said Jones, for fuck's sake. I mean, look, I'm going to be totally honest because I don't ever want to be a hypocrite about my opinion on football. For 6 years, I slated Fellaini, and throughout that 6 years, and throughout the United stand's 3.5 years, there's been people who've agreed with me at times, and it's easy to slate Fellaini now because everyone wants rid of him, but there has been times in the past where I've slated him and people have gone, "Oh, give him a break, you don't know anything about it." So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm glad that Fellaini's going, but I'm not going to change my mind about Phil Jones either. The cycle of Jones is a few good games, a massive mistake that costs us a result, and then he gets injured. And he's been doing that for years.
Lukaku, 1-on-1, beautiful pass, horrible finish by Rashford. I mean, and just 1-on-1 with the goalie. Lukaku, unbelievable job holding the ball up, sustaining control. Waited for Rashford to come. Beautiful pass off to the left. And it was 1-on-1 for Rashford. And he's been hitting those. It hit off the side of his foot. But beautiful play.
Should have been 1-0, says KA. And
100%. Should have been a goal.
And that's a shocking miss, says Bob. But the reality is, that's what you want. I mean, what are we in? Are we 10 minutes into this game? Yeah, 10 minutes in. And that should have been 1-0, and it would have been, then it's a totally different game. Then you can go and win 3 or 4-0.
Again, we're 10 minutes in, and we've already outplayed them. I think we've set up chances, a couple. Rashford, he will score that normally, so I think he'll score today. I think he's going to create space.
But it's good that, yeah. Let's spin the positive. It's only 10 minutes in. It's not 0-0 with the last kick of the game. I think we'd be going mad about that. So, let's take the positive. We've just split the defence. A lot of people saying, how did he miss? But
Mark,
You do.
we were on watch-alongs, and you could have taken a nap with Mourinho playing and woken up and not missed anything. You can't miss. It's exciting at least what's going on. Even when we're missing, you're not sitting there and worried for 80 minutes. We all believe in the live comments that we'll score. Burnley's got a shot here. It didn't amount to anything. They were offsides.
People saying that could cost us. Oh no, it's too early. That is. I mean, you're going to get misses. And yeah, we should have scored, but we didn't, and that's the end of that.
And back to you were talking about Sean Dyche. It was funny because last year he had Burnley really, really high on the table. Wasn't they up at like 6th for a consistent part of the season? So he had a good job. It's just one of these things where I think Burnley ran its course. Sean Dyche ran his course at Burnley, just like Ranieri was fired at Leicester and they won the title the year before. Some of these managers, they play above their level and then boom.
Yeah. They'll bloody stay up, Burnley, won't they, to be honest? But they are, I mean, look, KA says Burnley are pressing, and that's what Burnley will do. I mean, the quality should be coming through from Manchester United, and I'm sure it will, but Timeless says that Rashford should have...
Yeah, I mean, Burnley are definitely getting they got some space on the right now, but they look... No, the left, sorry. They got... It's not like you're watching Burnley and you think they have no chance. It's just we look better. But again, if you look at clean sheets this season, an interesting statistic. Burnley have the 3rd highest. Well, that can't be possible. That Burnley have the 3rd highest in the league. Because wouldn't Liverpool have... whatever.
What colour boots is Phil Jones wearing then? He's not wearing... He'll be wearing white. He normally does.
White. The white boots. Well, thank God there can't be penalty kicks in this game. A penalty shootout. Nice pass. Rashford did nothing with that. Again, scores around the league, everything is 0-0 except from the City game, the Everton game, and Brighton, and those scores haven't changed.
It's a weird situation, isn't it, with City? Because we surely want them to just keep winning because we don't want Liverpool to win the league, and especially when you look at Man City's next 2 games after tonight, they've got Arsenal at the weekend, then Chelsea after that.
Again, I could see Arsenal screwing up today and then shockingly holding City to a draw. Cardiff again, they had a tragedy. You got to think that they're up for that game. So who knows?
How's Pereira doing, says Tanyard?
Doing well, honestly. He just looks like he's influencing the game a little bit. But again, there's who I think's been doing the best is probably Lukaku. I mean, he set Rashford up. He's holding the ball well. So far, so good.
Brighton are 2-0 up as well, and Everton are 1-0 up against Huddersfield.
Mm-hmm.
Cardiff and Arsenal is still 0-0. 27 minutes in. We'll keep a look on that. As expect, well, actually, Cardiff have had as many shots as Arsenal. It's 4 each. Although possession stats 74% to Arsenal at the moment. But Arsenal's lineup is pretty weak with Mustafi and Monreal playing as centre back.
Again, I do not think they should have taken the game lightly. They're a shit team anyway, so it's why would you play a weaker team against Cardiff? You need the points, but I don't manage Arsenal, so I hope they lose. But again, they're gonna just fall into 5th this season, and they'll be fine. Perennial Europa League contenders. Melancholy says, Mark, you really rate Fellaini. He's your favorite.
Yeah, I love him. I absolutely love him. He's a fantastic player. I've always loved Marouane Fellaini.
Yeah. Here we go. Working it down the side. Oh, Rashford missed it. The movement. You know what's nice though? When they are passing the ball, we are passing the ball forward. We're not passing it backwards or sideways. We're looking to move the ball forward. Someone just said Koulibaly looks terrible. 2-0 to Milan. I hope we sign him. I think we're going to make multiple defensive signings, though, in the summer. And I think they're going to rid us of a lot of these people, especially if Solskjaer stays. Solskjaer.
I just think in relation to Manchester United and the current situation with the midfield, I just think it's really, really important that we do go and buy midfielders who can just have a little bit more speed about them. It's like you said about Matic. I think it's really important that we do go and get a midfielder who can do that, because I think we can get by with him for now, but in the future, it becomes a little bit of a problem.
Of course. And again, not really. I mean, Burnley had a shot; it went over the net, but interesting. And again, it's like we were never really good at that. We should have. Ferguson always sold his people at like 29.5, like right as they were about to decline, but he got money for them so he could reinvest it. And we got away from that strategy pretty quickly. We have a very aging team, so we should be able to move these people on, and if they get value by playing well under Solskjaer, great. Get rid of all of them.
I mean, just on the midfield sort of thing, is there anybody in particular that sort of grabs your mind as being a midfielder for Manchester United? Because I think from my point of view, I look at it and I think, well, you know what, I quite like the look of Ndidi. I quite like the look of and Dembele, although it looks like he'll probably end up going to Juventus.
I liked De Jong, who went to Barcelona. I liked him, the one who they just bought for 80. I always confused De Jong and De Ligt, but I like. You know what's funny? I actually like Tielemans a lot.
Well, we are linked to him. He could be quite an interesting one.
Yeah, but now Spurs seem to be trying to jump us for that transfer.
Because he looked like Leicester, didn't it?
Yeah, and it's weird because he's always that player you would invest in FIFA, and he'd increase through the roof. I always like getting people like that. FIFA football. Oh, well, nothing. Corner again. Burnley just took a corner. Resulted in nothing. But yeah, I mean, Burnley, they're not out of this game. You know, if they can nick a goal, I think it'll create some problems for us. But you always say, like, we wanted to see them behind. This is the type of game that I'd be intrigued if we fell behind in 20 minutes. Could we come back quickly?
Let's have a lot of people saying in the live comments.
Goal kick.
Burnley nearly scored. Ian Shepherd.
Hmm?
Burnley nearly scored.
Nah, I don't know. It's nearly scored. I mean, they had a corner. Didn't really amount to anything. Their two shots were, one was blocked by Jones, who made a really nice play, but it didn't get to De Gea. Oh, Burnley have another corner. United look off today, says Roy Keane.
I suppose the problem is, and we did speak about it, is that we had that fantastic chance for Marcus Rashford, and he didn't manage to take it. And I think if he had done, that was on after 10 minutes, you 1-0 up, and you quite fancy your chances there. But he didn't take it, and unfortunately for United, that is the way it's going at the moment. When we're currently only 0-0 still.
Yeah, won't be for long. We'll score this half. Lukaku up the right, but no one's in the middle for him. He passes it to the middle, and we got a corner. Corner coming, and Young is taking it. So excellent. Really making use of Young. Pereira's on the outside of the box. Nice setup to the middle. Oh, Shaw's going to kick this. Oh, all right. Well, he missed the net completely. So, all good. No goals.
No goals so far. And no goals in the Arsenal game. So, let's see how that goes.
Vishnu Raj, will Mike Phelan stay more than 6 months? I think his fate is probably linked to Solskjaer's, right? Like, I think if he stays...
It's It's interesting about Mike Phelan because there was a Rants and Flex were talking about it today, and they were saying that how much they like Mike Phelan and how it seemed like it was something to do with what's his face, Alex Ferguson, that he came, but I think it was actually to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be honest with you.
I agree. I mean, he's obviously had an unbelievable relationship with all of them since he's left the club. So, I don't know. It doesn't really strike me as weird that he's back, and I don't think he would leave. And I think you can guarantee that if Solskjaer stays, there's no way Phelan doesn't stay.
Pereira's been very poor, apparently, says Kieran so far.
Been okay.
United look off the pace as Dimitri Williams.
Rashford. Beautiful pass by Rashford. I think he was offsides, but unbelievable. So beautiful pass by Rashford to Mata, who came right in the middle. That's a bad call. Mata with a subpar shot, but a really nice save by the goalie, and then it didn't really matter because he was offsides. But again, what do you think of VAR? The more and more I see it, the more and more I feel like they need to have it quickly.
I know you're pro it. I don't. To be honest, I'm a bit of a romantic, and I prefer the. I actually quite like the mistakes and everything because it creates more fan debate. So yeah, but it's going to be interesting next season. I mean, a lot of these things that people go on about with Mo Salah and those things won't happen anymore, will they? So.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you sit there and you say the way that they are applying it, is it only related to goals? Like it has to be on a scoring play, right?
Yeah, I'm not 100% I'm not 100% sure how they're going to do it, to be honest.
Because that's the one thing I say. I mean, the calls in the middle of the pitch, I'm not as concerned about. Only the ones that affect the actual score should be reviewable. Like if that was a goal, it's not bad for him to be able to review it, but he shouldn't be able to review and. Cards and stuff like that should be off the cuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's a good question. How much does Mata have left?
I saw that from Warren's store, and it was exactly.
Yeah.
I felt exactly the same when I saw it. I was like, right, okay. Ryan FTW says that Luke Shaw is just an English left-footed Valencia as well. I disagree with you there. I do like Luke Shaw. I've got to be honest. I do like Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's been better than we thought he'd be. I'd like to see consistency from him, but currently I have hope in him, believe in him. I do not want to go into into halftime 0-0 though. I feel like we need a goal.
We're only halfway through the half, but yeah, we do. We definitely do.
And I think the way we're playing, we look like we'll get one. We just got to convert these chances. Hug was moved a little bit back. But Burnley are compact, too, so they only really are playing one forward, and Lindelof is kind of staying on him, which is nice to see. Keep Calamity Jones away.
Well, Baron Death says, I've got a horrible feeling Burnley could get something out of this tonight. I mean, I bloody hope not. I really do hope not.
Just keep the faith. Keep the faith. This is a game where, again, you have to feel like we actually have a bench. It's normal for teams like Burnley to keep a team like us 2-0-0. It's more, what do we do in those last 30 minutes, if that's the worst case scenario. Lindelof is new version of Vidic. We can hope so. Nice pass by Pogba, linking up with Rashford. Luke Shaw on the corner of the box to Pogba, who can tell he wants to put it in the middle. Puts it in the middle, but no one there. Oh, the Pereira. Beautiful pass, and Mata again, no go. Beautiful pass by Pereira, but an unbelievable defensive play by the Burnley guy. Whatever his.
Jay Harrod says, keep the faith, we got this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually starting to think that Mata was not the best choice to start. He's been involved in the goals, or potential goals, but he hasn't completed. And he hasn't finished.
A lot of Manuel, Cameron and Adam-tastic YouTube both saying that Rashford's been very poor today so far. I mean, probably a bit of a resonation there from the fact that he didn't take his chance. But if he had, it'd be a very different story. It would be 1-0 to Manchester United instead of currently.
When people are saying Rashford's poor, sure, he has not been his best. But again, I think the way he's been playing and the way we're playing, you just have to start saying those things after 90 minutes and believe that in the 90 minutes of this game, Rashford will put one away. And if not, then you can look at where we missed opportunities. Pereira, nice pass, but Burnley was in the way. Oh, well, that was a terrible pass by Pereira. Gave the ball up in the middle of the pitch. Everything's still tied up, by the way. Nothing's really changed since the last score update for anyone who's wondering. I threw 20 mark on Cardiff to win the first half, and it was like 8-1. So if they could nick a goal, ideally, that would be great.
I think you're very, very optimistic thinking that Cardiff might get a result, but you never know. You never know.
Only first half, so nothing to do with the actual game, but if they can nick a goal in the next 2 minutes...
Yeah, it's half time coming up a little bit earlier for them, isn't it? Arsenal tend to do this, though. They have terrible first halves at the Emirates, and then they tend to go and get a goal later on.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, without the goal later on part.
Yeah. Hey, well, look, we've got to win our game. We've got to win our game, haven't we? Let's not forget that. We have got to try and win our game.
Young got hit there.
A lot of people saying that Andres Pereira stunk the game out. That guy saying that. I mean, Rashford is still thinking about the missed chance as Anik Sharma, and Rashford shouldn't be playing at left wing. Yeah. We just don't look. I don't think we look as coherent as we have done in recent weeks.
No, I think that we've put together chances. We just haven't converted them, and we've been converting our chances. Burnley here. Young got back. That was nice. Nope, but right back to Burnley. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see a goal now from us.
Kills me to see how much Lukaku really slows us down, says Skangface. Do you think that's a factor, Jared? And Sireth Kamath Fitness says people want attacking football and 100% passing accuracy. People don't understand this is not FIFA. You're not going to get that either, are you? With
no.
With some of the players we've got out there, in all honesty.
No, I mean, Lukaku's, I don't know, he's tough to stomach the more you watch him, but he's been great. I think he's been good today, but he, again, you can't fault him for his, unchangeable qualities. He's slow. We knew that when we bought him. You can slate him for his first touch because that should be improving, but he's been controlling the ball well. He set up Rashford. We should be up 1-0, and then we wouldn't be talking about Lukaku being slow. So, I don't know. I think he's not been bad. I don't think so. I think Pereira hasn't been great, but he hasn't played either, so it's tough to fault him either. We're missing Carrera, says Joe Tomlin. I agree, actually. Silhedi, Lukaku's a fat mess. Are you blind? Well, that's a fair assessment, too. You're entitled to your opinion.
It's all about opinion.
But again, Pogba's been strong on the ball. He's setting things up. He's moving things forward. Mata on the right to Young with one of the worst passes I've ever seen. So excellent work by Ashley Young.
Could be a 0-0, says this.
No.
There's only one guy. No, look, he'll get it going. He'll get it going. He'll get it going. I mean, I do think that. Are we getting a lesson in the Premier League tonight, though? We had it against Brighton a couple of weeks ago. Maybe United are a better away team anyway.
I've thought that for a little bit, that Old Trafford, it's taken us a while to settle in at these games.
But look, Rashford scores that early goal and it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
100%. So, looks like Arsenal's going to go to the half 0-0.
Just putting some tweets out.
Here we go. Mata over to Young. Young's playing very far forward, which I don't like. All right.
Well, what are you thinking about it? Live comments so far. Tough game so far. So Snap so much for my goal in the first 20 minutes. Well, if Rashford could finish, it would have been. And you know, we all love Marcus Rashford, but he should have finished that chance. It was
100%.
very, very easy.
100%. I think it's a must, and you can't screw that one up when you're talking about you don't get a ton of chances as good as anyone's playing, so you have to convert the ones you get.
Do you think there's too many changes today, Jared and everybody? Because if you think about it, you know, Carrera, his intensity, you take that away for Pereira, who's not had a lot of game time. I think that's, you know, probably lost us a bit in the midfield. You got Mata playing, who certainly is nowhere near as quick as a Jesse Lingard. You got Phil Jones in there, who's not as dominant physically as Bailly. And then you got Lukaku in there, who's just not as quick and good on the build-up as Martial. So there's 4 positions there that are not as good as we have had in recent weeks, and that's, you know, it's not half a team, but it's not far off. And I think maybe that's partly to do with it as well. We're not as intense and as quick as we have been because of the changes. Jesus Christ, we need a right winger, says Rids39. I think we will see Jesse Lingard sooner rather than later.
God, what a pass by Pogba. All right, so they're moving the ball up now. Pogba, no. Is that Young? I mean, yeah, I don't know if that was Young or Pereira, but Young cannot move the ball well. Oh, it was Lukaku. Well, bunch of games heading to halftime too.
Poor Lukaku, says Ankit.
Poor us. We're paying him. Poor us.
I think Lukaku is a good bench player, but man, does he slow us down.
The question is, if you're paying someone as much as you're paying him, and he's a 90 million pound forward, can you really call him a bench player ever? It's just he's on these wages that make it untenable. It was offsides, just in case they put it in, but offsides, and it wasn't. It was obviously offsides. So De Gea didn't even chase it.
I just don't think his build-up play is good enough at this level.
No. And again, you sit there and you wonder how we were ever convinced to pay as much as we had. But both of us, Chelsea and us, are going to end up getting rid of these people and just eating the loss. I can't see how Lukaku is a long-term solution, and I honestly think you can sell it to the board like he's holding people like real youth back. So is it just time to move on from him and loan him out somewhere?
King Jack R2, you might be wondering why you got put into a timeout. Half of your comment was actually quite good, but there's just no need for the abuse, so it will never get read out, and you've gone in a timeout for it as well. I was about to read it out, and then I read the second half, and I thought, you've ruined yourself there, so there you go. We've had a contribution from Sebastian Anderson. He says, we've created a lot of big chances. The goal will come. I think it definitely will come in the second half, 100%. I agree with you on that. I don't think Ollie will rest on his laurels here. This is not the Jose Mourinho United. He will demand at half-time a little bit more. Martial's not on the bench, the watcher, because he's actually sick. So that obviously weakens us a little bit. We've still got 10 minutes of this half. You know, I think because Arsenal are at half-time, we're thinking we're at half-time, and we're not. We've still got a bit of time going.
By the way, the Milan signing that they just signed, that guy Piatek, he has both goals in their first half. So that's an interesting debut for him, for anyone interested in Italian football. Pereira, oh, here we go. Interesting. Pogba's in the box with it. Oh, just a terrible header by Lindelof. But Lukaku, oh!
Go.
Okay. Beautiful hold-up play by Lindelof with a header into Lukaku, who chested it up in the air, hit his leg, shot it, and a really nice save by the Burnley keeper. It was actually a shit header by Lindelof, but it fell on Lukaku, who had a really nice shot.
Abil Leon says, "Why the fuck can't Sanchez play right wing? 300k a week for what?" I think that's a decent shout, to be honest with you.
More than decent. We overpaid for Sanchez, so I mean, again, if he just becomes useful and does what he did at Arsenal, then fine. Just score a goal, move on. It's fine.
Did he not give a foul for that shot by Lukaku? Because it looked like a foul.
I didn't think it was, and then at the end it seemed like they ended with a free kick, so yeah. Oh, that's
Jag
not...
says, how's that a foul? 100% it was a foul, to be honest. How do I watch the game, says Reese MUFC videos? Well, you watch the United Stand Watchalong and we keep you updated. Or you read some of the comments in the live comments. Lukaku close, says Sophie. Great reaction save, says Kieran. And a few people saying why people getting on at Lukaku. No, I think if you have a look at the United Stand Twitter, I've just tweeted it out there. He's a great squad player in this system, but he slows us down and his build-up play is not good enough. But, you know, why should you not use your squad against Burnley? But, I mean, are we all going to suddenly start saying that Lukaku's our wet dream? He's not. He's the problem still remains with him. And but we may need to watch him. We may need to play him in more games. I mean, if Martial got injured, I mean, he's not injured, he's sick, but you've got to use your squad, and I think Lukaku will be involved a lot. He's got 2 assists on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, it did say Martial got injured in training, but I don't know if that's true or it's just an illness.
Yeah, there's conflict in reports, really.
Yeah, hopefully he does not miss time because he's been playing unbelievably well.
Pereira crap today, says Pauline Garcia.
Ooh. All right, so De Gea has the ball. Goal kick for us. Got 9 minutes left before the half.
I mean, what you got to say about is that Ollie has obviously been very positive about Pereira in training, saying that he deserves his chance. And it's not easy to just go and walk into a midfield in January and play your best football. It isn't. It really isn't, because he's not played enough football this season, so he's going to be rusty. We've seen it in a couple of games with Pereira under Mourinho, very rusty because he's not been kept match sharp, and that's what today. For Pereira, if he can put in a 6 or 7 out of 10, that's a good game for him. I wouldn't expect him to be doing an 8 or a 9, but from what I've seen, you compare him to a Fellaini or a McTominay. I mean, he's passing it further than 5 yards, and some of them might not be working, but I think that's what Pereira brings to you. He just needs to get his sharpness levels up. And ultimately, what do people want from Pereira? Either it works out for him, or he'll go in the summer because he's out of contract. Simple as, isn't it?
Yep. And then we have a corner kick.
Gabriel Akari says Pereira is not good enough, not yet anyway.
Shaw taking the corner. And it was not a good corner.
You always see, this is what I disagree with. I don't know why Luke Shaw's on corners when you've got Andres Pereira in the team. I don't really understand that.
Wait. I don't know if it's offsides or a goal. It's offsides. But a beautiful play by Pogba. Really nice pass. And there's going to be some calls for a penalty shot as well, because I thought that he was held. But then ball came to him. He was in an offside position, but he did score. So
offside, damn, says Adam Hatia.
Offside. Sorry, I say offsides. Another yank problem. We can't help it. Oh, not good play. Oh, okay, they called a foul. Got pretty lucky there. Burnley would have been on the break. Bills fan 7883, they're dangerous right now. I mean, I definitely think they're trying to impose themselves on the game, but we look good. We just haven't been lucky in the final third, I would say. Pogba, that's a sick pass. That's a sick pass. I don't even know how he did it. He just hits Luke Shaw on an unbelievable run. Again, it didn't work out, but that was on Shaw, not Pogba.
Well, it certainly sounds to me like Luke Shaw's, doing what people want Luke Shaw to do, which is bombing up and down the left hand. I nearly said bumming up and down the left hand side. We don't want him doing that. Bombing up and down the left hand side, because we've not really heard much about Ashley Young doing that. And I think we all know that Luke Shaw needs to work on his crossing, and for Rance, that's a reason why he shouldn't be our left back. But I would say for a 23-year-old who's only just having his first 6 months as our left back, we can certainly work on his crossing. I like a lot of elements to his game. I think he defends really, really well, and I think that he will improve.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is Young is not doing it on the left because he's doing it on the right. So he's bombing up the right quite a bit and crossing in. So it is interesting, but Shaw, I do think, will eventually be our left back consistently. We caught him on the break here. Pogba, not the best pass, but he did win the ball back. Pereira's got it. We're on the edge of the box. Mata. Oh, shot just wide to the right. No, Ethan, it's not.
Laid back G says Luke Shaw has actually doing very well without the accuracy in the final ball, and Phoenix Morrison saying Shaw's been great. And there's been a lot of people saying that about Luke Shaw, to be fair, that he's had a good game. So I think maybe we've just got agendas there where people are saying he's been bad because they just don't like Luke Shaw. But from most of the people in the live comments, and yourself as well, Jared, he's done pretty well. And it's interestingly, because as somebody just said there, why are people picking on Pereira? He's just picked the ball up and found Mata, he shoots wide. So I think people say somebody's crap but don't take into account some of the good things that they've done. I mean, for me, a stray pass and then a good pass, that means you're average. It means you're 6 out of 10. It doesn't mean you're crap.
No, and there was an interesting Pogba statistic about his difference with Mourinho that they just showed on the screen. So, let me read it. It's a good one. Pogba, 5 goals, 4 assists. 5 goals and 4 assists in 6 appearances under Solskjaer. 3 goals, 3 assists in 14 appearances under Mourinho this season. So clearly, he's improved immensely. Burnley had a free kick. Have a free kick.
Jones is so dumb, says Rowan.
That's a very good way to explain it. All right, so the free kick coming in from Burnley. And right out for a corner. It was terrible.
RC is saying that Luke Shaw's been the best player on the pitch. Who would you say, Jared? I mean, we're not quite at half-time yet, but who would you say has been the standout players for United?
Well, I think Lukaku's been good. I think that Pogba's been immense. And I think he's just, unfortunately, hasn't had the finishing around him. But I thought he's been great. And I think Lindelof's always good at this point.
And Bonga makes a good point. He says Pereira's having a good game for a person that hasn't played in a long time. And I think you've got to take that into account. I think it's very easy for his armchair supporters to not understand that we are in the end of January now, and this is a player coming into a football match where both sides have played, 25 games, is it? Over 30 when you count cup games. And he's coming in like, he's hardly played any football. So there's nothing like match fitness, and that's why teams at the start of the season are nowhere near as good as they are in September, October, November, because you play more games, you get better. So Pereira, this for me is it's not like a Lukaku situation who has played a lot of football this season. For Pereira, it's really about getting some minutes into his legs. Tyson Marley says, Mark, screen share with some in America to watch. Don't know what that actually means, to be honest. Everyone is playing well, says Denzel Zilwa. And Pereira is 23 already, I think, and he just hasn't shown enough quality to be in United starting 11, says Kieran. See, I disagree with that, because I think that Pereira, although he is 23, he spent 2 years in Spain. The one at Granada, he was absolutely fantastic, one of the best players in the league. Valencia, it didn't go as well, but he still played a lot of minutes there. So he's not been sat in United's reserves for 5 years. He has actually been out there doing things. I mean, he got called up for the Brazil squad.
Yeah, and that was a tough squad to get in, so obviously he's been doing something right with people that are watching. But again, I think he wants to do it here or at the club consistently, and he hasn't been given that chance, so he needs to take it. No one's going to fault him for the first game back, but if it happens again, and let's say he plays again, I think he's going to have a harder argument to make. SA
Space says it's got a draw written all over it. We've got to win this game. If we want top 4, I know it's harsh for me to say this because this is a man who's won the last 8 games in a row, which is nothing short of sensational. But if we want to get top 4, this is not acceptable. A draw is not acceptable. We've got to win this game. And I know that's harsh, but Ollie would say that himself. Because you know the brilliant things he's been saying about United should be winning every game. So, you know, you've got to beat Burnley at home. We're only halfway through it. And I'm still confident that we will. But in some ways, we are lucky that Arsenal are still 0-0 because if they were beating Cardiff 4 or 5-0, I don't think that looks like it's going to be that sort of performance for United tonight, Jared. So, you know, we don't want to win. We want to win, obviously, first of all, but we could be in a situation where our goal difference expands against Arsenal, which we don't want.
No, again, I maybe I should be more worried about Arsenal, but I'm not. I'm more worried about Chelsea. I think the Higuain signing is going to help them out immensely. And they got rid of Morata, so you got to credit them for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a dangerous situation if we don't do any business, and then you get a situation where obviously Chelsea have done, and I heard Sarri today saying that he wanted 2. So, you know, they ain't messing about, and I think there's talk of Arsenal maybe doing a deal as well. So, again, I think that will ruffle a few United fans' feathers if we don't actually sign any players, and then our 2 biggest rivals. I know Ross was saying that he thinks Spurs will slip into it. I'm not totally convinced that they will. I think it's us, Arsenal and Chelsea for that one spot, and we must remember that. Delo on for Young, get some balls into the box, says Buster's Gate. I mean, I'll come back to that. And Mark G, Ollie doesn't look too pleased. I think there will be changes at half-time. Half-time now, says Jared. Okay. Let me just stop the timer. I mean, what I would say about that is that I wasn't very impressed with Ashley Young against Arsenal. I thought he was very, very poor. And, you know, a few people saying the same thing again, Jared. But what would you do in the second half? I suppose that's the big thing.
I'd bring on Lingard. I think that overall he's probably the one who can impact the game the most. And honestly, this does seem like Sanchez could do well in this game.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe you...
Me? Yeah, I'll go on, yeah. I'll
right.
Off, yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking if you can... Maybe you bring off Pereira, but you can't bring him off too early and, like, shatter confidence again. So we got to stick with him. He started, so... I don't know. I think you got to let the game play out a little bit more, but but Lingard should come on for Mata pretty quickly.
I think this is such an interesting situation because I sort of predicted that Mata would play tonight, and I know Ross again when they had the team news came out, he was very surprised. And Sharath Kamath Fitness says that the hairdryer is going to come out. I think it will do. I certainly don't think that Ollie is a soft touch, but I expected Mata to play tonight, and I wasn't surprised when he picked him from the start because Burnley. They're not a great side. We're at Old Trafford, and if you can't play Juan Mata at home against Burnley, you're certainly never going to play him away against Chelsea, are you? So if he's going to get game time and he's on a lot of money, it's interesting though with Mata because there's this talk that we want to give him another year's contract, and the only thing I'm really interested in is Manchester United. And Juan Mata's a brilliant, brilliant man. Does lots for charity. He does his blog. He's very educated. He's been a great footballer. But I've got to be honest, this season I ain't been impressed with Mata. And it's hard to say that because he's such a likeable bloke. But I haven't been impressed with him. He wears the number 8 because he normally puts in a consistent 8 out of 10. And this season, starting with the game against Leicester when Chilwell annihilated him, and it continued against Brighton, and I just haven't seen the real Juan Mata this year. And I would not be, even if he went to Arsenal, I wouldn't be worried because I'd be like, he's not going to change Arsenal into a threat. And I think you're right. I think Mata needs to come off, get Lingard on, maybe give Pereira 15 more minutes, and then you get Herrera on. And Sanchez has got to come on, probably. But who do you bring him on for? I mean, you could bring... I think Mata's the one, but you need to get Lingard and Sanchez on, potentially, if we haven't scored in that first 10 minutes. And then it's got to be Lukaku, hasn't it?
Yeah, but don't you want... I guess you'd want to keep Lukaku on for the headers, honestly. So, I don't know. I mean, you got to think that someone's going to have to make way for them, but I would assume and hope that the 2 substitutions negate the need for the third. Like, hopefully we can score a goal with a Lingard or a Herrera coming on, and we don't need to make the decision of who else to pull off. Honestly, because I'd like to get Smalling back in just to see where he goes. So hopefully we have that happen.
Skaneface says that Lukaku literally offers the team nothing. Sell ASAP. Well, I think what Lukaku offers is what Jared was on about there. It's the physicality, isn't it? Lukaku needs that chance that Rashford gets. And I know that sounds bad because I prefer Rashford to Lukaku, but the one strength that Lukaku has is if you give him chances in the box, all right, he will miss some, and he might have missed that chance Rashford did, but that is what Lukaku does. He doesn't score 30 goals in the last few years in the Premier League because he's a bad striker. He scores goals. But what he does do, even if he's playing well, he's not as quick as Martial, Lingard or Rashford, so he does slow us down a little bit, and that's why you get a lot of people in the live comments saying he's slowing us down. It doesn't mean he's having a bad game. He does slow us down, and he's not a technical player, so when he's picking the ball up with his back to goal, which he's doing a lot in this game, he's never going to find, we're a different team. And Danny G says we could drop Mata into a number 10 and Lukaku and Rashford up front. At least we would still have all our subs if that doesn't work out. Interesting. I've got to be honest. I read the live comments, Jared, and I do sort of become excited when I see people going on about, this isn't good enough, because I think, well, this is exactly the scenario that you want. Even the Brighton game a few weeks ago when it was tense in the last 10 minutes, you're like, Ollie's got to learn how to close a game out. He's got to learn what it's like 0-0 at half time when maybe you should be 1-0 up because Rashford takes the chance. What's he going to do to make it, I don't really want it to happen, but I almost think, well, I'd like it to be 0-0 with 10 minutes to go in this game, and let's see what he does to win the game. We want Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be tested in every single way over the next few months if we want him to be our manager.
You need to know you're getting the right guy. You can't just make like an off-the-cuff decision about that and then sit there and say, okay, you know what? We're going with him because the fans like him. You want to go there and say, we built and we put him through PSG and Liverpool and City, and every single time he had a challenge, he came through.
Exactly. Exactly. Also, some of these players may well be playing for their futures here. If you think about Mata and Pereira, they're out of contract in the summer. And Phil Jones. Sebastian Anderson says, what if Burnley go and score an early goal in the second half? Then we are screwed. Well, it's the Premier League. These things can happen. It could happen at the Emirates with Cardiff. I've totally and utterly expect Cardiff to lose to Arsenal today, but we need to get our job done. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Well, it would be very, very bad if we drew with Burnley today and Arsenal beat Cardiff, because then, we beat them in the Cup. There's no guarantees we're going to beat Chelsea, and actually the league is what it's all about. We would be getting bantered. So we've got to get this game won today. Pranay Singh says, Mata has made the runs in the crowded box, which no other forward has made. He can unlock this. Give him another 10 minutes, says Pranay. I don't think he'll make any changes at half time. I'd be surprised if Ollie's that sort of manager. From most of the research I've done with him, he sometimes leaves his subs a little bit late. So I don't think we'll be seeing any changes at half time.
No, and I think certain people you really can't take off at halftime because you don't want to. Again, you have to give them the time to be successful. His first 45 minutes, Pereira is much different, I think, than Mata. If you took Mata off, I do see a reason to get him off the pitch at this point, so that's fine. Pereira, you have to see what happens with him. Hopefully, he has a moment of brilliance, and that builds confidence, and then you go from there.
MJ Gamer says, 88 says, who would you bring on? I think we were just talking about it there, MJ, that you'd be looking to maybe get Carrera on after 15 minutes in the Pereira position, but certainly get Mata off for Lingard. Adrian Corcio says, I have a feeling it's going to be another performance like when they played Brighton. Tough to break down a team with 11 men behind the ball. I go back to, because I know some people will just be joining us at half time, I'll go back to what we were talking about as well. Is there a question that there's been too many changes in this game in key areas? Because I think we were excited that Pereira's playing, but he's not bringing that intensity and speed that Carrera brings because he's not played enough games. Phil Jones is not as dynamic and tenacious and quick as Eric Bailly, and Mata again is not as quick and as creative as Lingard is. And Lukaku is not Anthony Martial. So that's 4 players in key areas around the pitch that we are weaker at. We are weaker. Not because those replacements are bad players. They've all got reasons for why they're weaker, but they definitely are weaker. So should we be surprised, really, that we're not quite at the races? But having said that, we always talk about under Ollie, when he first took over at Cardiff, early goals. And not as manager as Cardiff, our first game against Cardiff. And if Rashford puts that chance in, Jared, it was literally 10 minutes in, the game's very different. And I think as a manager at our time, Ollie would just be a little bit frustrated about that, because it's like we've now put a bit of pressure on ourselves that if we haven't scored in the first 20 minutes, the crowd become a bit restless in the second half. And actually, Rashford should be scoring that. And we all love Rashford. And that just really highlights the importance of the early goal. When you take your chance, you got to do it.
You can't allow a chance in the first 10 minutes to basically put the game away and be able to sit back, go away from you. And to be honest, they let 2 go away because Lukaku made a foul, so I guess that doesn't really count. But yeah, obviously you sit there and you say, if you make that goal 1-0, changes the way that you need to play the game. Allows Pereira to not be on 100% and still have a good game.
Mini Morner says, how many times have we talked about Lukaku's strength and how many times have we been disappointed? He's Everton level. Teams give them more freedom. And Pranay saying, yeah, we've done that one. Remember to, just while we are at half-time, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. The United Stand, bottom right-hand corner, you can subscribe, or you can do it through the link in the video description. Get involved. We are live every night at 8 o'clock. Obviously, tonight there's a match, but we're normally live at 8 o'clock talking about the day's news. Got some transfer shows planned for you over the next couple of days as well, because there's only 2 days left of this transfer window. Looks like Fellaini's going to go. I'm going to do a live show on Football Transfer Daily tomorrow at about 10 a.m. So it won't be going up as a pre-record at 7 a.m. It will be a live show at 10 a.m. talking Fellaini and what we might do in the last sort of 36 hours. So subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. We're getting close to 363,000 subscribers. So welcome if you are new to the channel. Make sure you subscribe and put your notifications on, because we are a live content channel. What about Sanchez coming on? Yeah, if Sanchez is to be played, play him on the right or not at all, says B. Yakov. I mean, yeah. And we've had a contribution here from Matthew Gordon. Thank you. He says, random question. What camera do you use for your videos? Oh, okay. This is going to surprise a lot of people, and a lot of people won't even believe me. But I have bought a couple of pretty good high-powered cameras in the past, but I use a Logitech C920, which you probably can't even get anymore, that cost me about 50 quid. I just find it very reliable with the lighting, and it gives off, makes it look 1080 at times. It's a very, very good camera, and it's very, very cheap. But people would laugh at that, but it is good. But what do you think about this Alexis Sanchez scenario, Jared? I mean, it just seemed to be, I've joked that maybe it's in his contract that he can't play on the right-hand side. There just seems to be something really odd about it, because we know he plays off the left-hand side a lot. But if you play him off the left-hand side, it ruins Pogba's game, it ruins his.
It doesn't add up. And obviously there's something we're not being told about Sanchez, because it makes 0 sense. If you're not going to work on the left because Martial's going to play there, which is obviously where he's best, and he's a better player than Sanchez is, so he can just move on, right? Like, then he's locked down the left side. If he's not going to work on the right, where does he work in the team? And wouldn't he want to play on that side to at least play consistently? I don't understand it, so obviously there's got to be something in the contract we're not told.
Yeah, it is a bit weird, because I think he's been here over a year now, and we've barely seen him playing off the right. We've seen interchangeability of him moving, swapping wings, but starting out as the right-hand side player, we've never really seen it. And he's right-footed. He played there at Barcelona. We've got the left-hand side sorted with Martial, who hogs the touchline, and that suits Pogba. When Sanchez plays there, he drifts in, he gets in Pogba's space. The most obvious thing in the world is to put Sanchez in the right wing, on the right wing. When we signed him, that's what we thought we were going to do. But no, it's just not worked out that way, and it is a bit odd. But lot of love for Luke Shaw, lot of love for Luke Shaw from that half. And that's good to see. That's good to see for me.
Also, 0-0 still in the Arsenal game.
Well, Carmine says that Cardiff have had 11 shots.
Telling you, Cardiff, who knows?
I don't even care. To be honest with you, I'm not even bothered if Cardiff win. If it was a draw, it would be happy days. But they'll win. Arsenal will win that, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem likely that Cardiff could pull it off. But
let me know when the second half kicks off, Jared, and I'll do the timer for you.
No problem.
But yeah, the most important thing in this next 45 minutes now is, I said 4-0. It can happen, but to be honest with you, it's got to that point now, isn't it, where, I take 1-0. We've just got to win. We've just got to win. And I do think that Brighton and Burnley at home, we should be coming out with a boost to our goal difference. But at the end of the day, it's the 3 points that matter. You can't go to the Emirates, play like we did on Friday night, and then come out to Burnley at home and draw, because the FA Cup, as much as it's enjoyable, it's a bonus. This is the bread and butter, and we've got to win this game tonight.
They're all bonus cups. They're there for enjoyment. I don't know that, Poch's comments on trophies were terribly inaccurate. They're just not fitting of this club. So it's like, they are true. Like, they make you feel great, but the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the only thing that really matters in this whole thing is the Champions League and the Premier League, and everything else is secondary. And when you win them, they're great, but they're not. Would you sacrifice top 4 to win the FA Cup? No.
The thing is, I think Pochettino, actually, I stuck up for him at the weekend, and I got quite a few retweets on Twitter, and it must have all been Spurs fans, because what I said is that, look, they played on Thursday night in the Chelsea game that went to penalties with all the injuries they've got, and they got knocked out on penalties. They didn't get schooled by Chelsea's first team. They got knocked out away from home on penalties. They've then got a league game tomorrow night on Wednesday, but in between those 5 days or 6 days, they've got to play an FA Cup game on Sunday. How on earth can you play three games competitively in 6 days and put your first team out when he's got the injury crisis he's got? I don't really have a problem with it, but.
And again, that he went there and he went to people above him and said, what's more important? Right? And they clearly... Fulham are tied with Brighton. So...
Is it kicked off yet, Jared?
It's kicking off right... Hold on. He's looking at his watch. Kicked off right now. Burnley got the ball to start.
Okay. The game is screaming for Martial on the left wing and Rashford as a striker, says I'm a plant. Well, that's not going to happen because Martial's not even on the bench. Jared, I'm just going to leave you for a moment for it, just while I take a quick toilet break, because hopefully it's going to be an exciting second half.
Okay. De Gea just had an interesting one. He palmed it away and it went right into the Burnley player, so got out of that one. How's everyone doing? De Gea save. Yeah, lucky De Gea. I agree. That was very lucky. I don't know how that did not end up in a goal, but it didn't. Good. Started Pat Fulham to win. Will be lucky to get 1-0. Lee Allen will be lucky to get 1-0 if Lukaku stays on. Yeah, I think he'll be okay. I think we'll win this game. Yeah, it's 1 minute in. The timer's up. Martial's hurt. Yeah, but he should be back, I heard, before the weekend. Oh, here we go. Lukaku. Mata. Oh, Mata had a perfect opportunity to score. You kicked it right into the goalie. So, shit shot. Fundamentally, he has to do better. And I mean, our defense has been good, honestly. Lindelof, Young, Matic, they've played well. Young can't cross, but we'll get there. Jags. Lukaku had a good touch for once. I agree. He's been having actually nice control of the ball. Now he just needs someone else to score. I hope after this, Ollie stops with all the changes. Yeah, but if you're sitting there with all these games coming together at once, you want to stop with the changes. I mean, that's the thing. I guess you need to rotate your team if you're going to have people like Pereira and everyone get to play. So, I don't know. We should win games like this even with the rotation. Thanks, Tyrone. Sir Wilsley, how long have you been a United supporter? Over 10 years. Since I started watching the sport. What's up, everyone? Game is ours to lose, KA. I agree with that. We're going to win 1-0. This does look like a 1-0 game, but I think if we get a quick goal, then you sit there and you wonder, can we pester them with 3 or 4 like we used to when we scored 4 or 5 goals when Mourinho was here? That's the 80th minute. What time is it where I am? 4 o'clock. Young. Oh, Matt with the cross. Oh, beautiful header. And just clearly did not know what to do with it. 2-2 Fulham, yep. Carrera with the nice pass to Young. The cross. Pogba, that's going to be a meme. Just tried to bicycle kick it, but there was no ball. Yeah, if anyone has any American questions, let me know. We have great accents. We know we're all Yanks. We've got it all under the bat. Although it's funny because the baseball team in New York is called the Yankees. The Yank actually isn't that bad.
I'm back now, Jared. That long beep was Martial cursing, says AJ. I don't know what she's on about, but maybe there was a beep I missed.
No, it's interesting too. Pogba had a bicycle kick, no ball, but we had a nice few minutes there, and we could have scored. So
more intense in the second half then, which is good. I'm sure Solskjaer has had his hairdryer out, and I'm sure we'll see an improved United in the second half. Fulham are back 2-2, says Rahul.
Yep. Update on scores for everyone. 0-0 still in Arsenal, and everything else stayed the same.
Man City still 1-0.
Yes.
You see, I'd have thought City would go on and get 3 or 4 in that, but just one of the. It just shows you, doesn't it? Here we are, Burnley 0-0, Cardiff Arsenal 0-0. I mean, people wouldn't have expected that, but there we go.
Gerard, do you like any teams in the MLS? The MLS isn't really a league. It's like it's like East Coast version of the Chinese league with less money. People just go to retire there, and then there's Zlatan. Oh, here we go. Oh, Rashford got a beautiful chance at the run, but the Burnley keeper came out, and nothing you can do about that. Mata pushed him, so that's going to be a foul.
A lot of love from Luke Shaw again, saying setting up Pogba there. We're crying out for Sanchez and Lingard, says John Benedict. Well, we did do that, didn't we, on Friday night? We brought Rashford and Martial on, and we've got Lingard and Sanchez on the bench, and it will change the game when they do come on, Jared, because they will bring intensity and speed, and that's something that obviously, even if Mata has a great second half, he can't bring speed. So we have got those options on the bench. At least we've got that. If you're Spurs, you look at your bench and you look back at the pitch again.
Yeah. Again, I think that the other thing is Lingard's not coming on as a substitute. He's a starter on this team, and he knows his role, and he's impactful when he comes on. And I feel like against Burnley, he'll find space to score. So, again, I don't think I'll be worried until like the 87th minute, and then I still think we'll score. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just delusional. It's fine.
Super Bowl this Sunday, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
How long will that go on for? About 4 hours.
Oh, hold on. Burnley got a break. Goal.
For Burnley?
Horrible error by us. Pass to Burnley, buried it in the net.
Well, Phil Jones is the one who's getting the shit for messing around. Again, at the back. Phil Jones. I fucking knew it. This is what happens when you play Phil Jones at centre-back. He's an absolute twat. An absolute twat.
Jones to Pereira. It was a very short pass. Pereira turned it over, and then from there, both their men got away. So it's a Jones-Pereira mistake. Terrible.
Yeah, well, it's probably more Pereira, I think, in the live comments. Yeah. But
we'll just rope Jones in there for the pass. Why not?
Fucking hell. This is not good.
As they score, so does Arsenal.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's like, when it rains, it pours. All right. Make some subs. Bring Lingard on. Let Lingard Millie rock again.
Fucking hell.
Pereira just looks defeated. See, like, at this point, I don't know. Now I'd take him off. First time in 9 matches under Solskjaer, we're trailing.
So it's 1-0 to Burnley. I'm going to update the score now, but that is a hammer blow for United, and it's an even bigger hammer blow because Arsenal have gone 1-0 ahead as well. And I said this, great result on Friday night, but if you don't turn up and get a result tonight, it means absolutely nothing. And look, it's too early to speak about whether we made too many changes, but I did mention it at half time. I think we made too many changes tonight. There's too many changes in too many positions. Phil Jones at centre-back, he's looked calamitous all night. He's not looked assured. Bay looked brilliant on Friday night. You've got Pereira in the midfield, who's clearly struggling. You've got Lukaku, who slows us down up front, and Mata, who slows us down on the right. There's too many changes in a game you've got to win, and now the pressure's on. It's on.
To say the least, Mata's got the ball at the edge of the box to Rashford. Beautiful shot and an unbelievable save. Of course, the goalie is playing like Van der Sar, and he's
done this before, though. I remember doing it a couple of years ago when we had Zlatan. He came and played bloody brilliant. I'm sure it was him.
All of them. It's like I'm trying to think of the coach. It's like the Mark Hughes syndrome. Everything's a cup final when they come here. Pereira, I mean, all right, I'm souring on Pereira a bit, but I'm trying to stay positive with him.
To be honest with you, the pass from Phil Jones, giving it to him with his back to goal, that close to goal, if it goes wrong, you end up like that. Phil Jones shouldn't be playing a pass like that, but maybe some people would be sympathetic. Liam Matler says, Golden Goldbridge, I have a feeling we're going to lose. Fucking definitely Jones' fault, that goal. He seemed to hesitate a bit to me. He should not be playing that pass. Phil Jones should not be playing that pass to a midfielder.
Just shouldn't be playing, I think. These errors come up, and then we have to have the discussion. But Phil Jones is not a rock-solid defender at the back. And we're going to have these problems all the time. We got 47 minutes left. 37 minutes left.
Dylan Pidgley says we'll see what Ollie Solskjaer can do after going behind. Well, yeah, look, there's a long way left in this game. I certainly don't think we're going to lose it, but we bloody need to win it. And we're going to have to go for it. And I think that's the exciting thing. And if you flip it round the positive way, because we haven't lost this game yet, if you flip it the positive way, we need to see this. We spoke about it half time, Jared. We do need to see what United can do in these sort of situations. It's, if it's just another 4-0 tonight, what do we learn? Well, it's great. We get the 3 points, and I'd rather have that. This is a test now, says Pranay Singh. The old Phil has come back.
Yeah. We have to, you got to be able to step up, and you have to be able to come back from when you're down. So, let's see what they can do. It's not like we're 1-0 down with 89 minutes gone, so there's more than enough time. I don't blame Pereira. Oh, you got a contribution. Jones to defend. You know what? Look, if we had, and I hate to use his name, if we had Van Dijk there, that just doesn't happen. So, again, you need a superstar rock defender that plays every single week, so you never have to play Phil Jones again. Rashford's got the ball. Oh, he's hesitating. Pereira at the top of the box to Young on the right, who's crossing. Young's got to go.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Ashley Young anyway.
Shit. Can't cross the ball. But still trying. As in, like, he's trying to talk everyone up. He looks like he's ready for the cross. He's going to score. Then we'll be tied.
Robert Edwards says Ollie is actually famous for messing about like this at Cardiff, messing around with different systems and players. To be fair, look, let's save it for full time, but you're not wrong. I remember reading an article on Solskjaer at Cardiff literally before he'd even played his first game. He'd just been appointed, just to sort of do a little bit of background on him, and a lot of people said that about the changes. It became a little bit confusing. I just think 4 changes tonight was too many. I do. I think it's too many. I know he wants to give game time to people, but we saw in the game against, was it Reading in the Cup? We weren't that good that day. Beyond his best 11, I think there's problems in that squad. And when you bring 4 reserves in, because I think Phil Jones is a reserve, and Pereira is, and Mata is, and Lukaku is, I think it's just 1 too many.
Yeah, I also think there could have been an air of arrogance to it. Like you're just, like we came in, we're saying it's just Burnley. Well, they're saying the same thing, You sit there and do you give people, like too many people, opportunities, and thus, like maybe benching Lingard and not finding a place for Sanchez and these other ones hurt us. But let's just see how the game works out. Burnley are still on the, oh my, what a save by De Gea. Burnley are pushing. And back to the Mata thing, I would keep Mata another year if it makes De Gea sign the contract. Again, he's part of that Spanish contingent where they make him very comfortable and he likes his people around him. So, essential De Gea stays.
Ricky916 says, bring in Poch, just kidding, love Ollie and he will bring us back, and if he doesn't, we'll see who are the flip-floppers, says Ricky916. I don't think that's...
Oh, Rashford with a pass, Lukaku's pushing up.
I don't think that you'd be a flip-flopper to say you don't want Ollie as your manager. I think I think a lot of people would like Ollie to be the manager because of how all the positivity at the moment. But I think many United fans have actually said it's way too early. You've got to go through these tests with him and see what happens. Pereira sucks, says Jacob. Look, half-back. Nobody's taken away from the fact that Pereira is mainly at fault for that goal because he can't do what he did. And if that was Phil Jones controlling it, everyone would moan. But what I'm saying is Phil Jones messed up big time. He should not be playing that pass to a midfielder who's got his back to the danger. He shouldn't do that. But we don't know what they're being told to do on the training ground.
No, I mean, you could tell it's a lack of. I mean, they're definitely not comfortable. They don't play together, and it was a lack of communication as well. So, oh, okay. Corner? No.
See, there's only half an hour left to get 2 goals. I'd take Twansibi over Jones in centre back any day, says I'm a plant.
Well, at least it builds for something. Jones is not building for anything. I'm looking at his age too. He's old, I think.
Mark Hurapis says get Lingard and Herrera on and we'll win this game. He's going to have to do it sooner rather than later. He has been accused at previous clubs of taking too long to make his substitutions. Well, Dalot's not coming on because he's just putting a big coat on, apparently. Jones has 0 brain skill. I don't understand why Phil Jones plays for Manchester United, and whether you want to blame him for this goal or not, I do not understand why he's wearing a United shirt. He's just dodgy. He shouldn't even have Phil Jones on the back of his shirt. He should have dodgy, or even better, I'm shit. He's just he's a calamity player. He's a bit like Lukaku's first touch. It never looks like a footballer. He doesn't look like a footballer, Phil Jones. Everything he does, it's like when it's something good, he gets away with it. Like he just chucks his big jaw in the way. He can't pass the ball. He's not particularly quick. He just looks like a calamity Jones. That's what he is.
It's I don't get how he's still at this club. I really don't. You know, like how great would the news be if tomorrow you got the notice that we were selling Jones as well?
I know.
Like in the last 36 hours, we sell Jones, we sell Fellaini, and we buy a defender.
If you think Phil Jones is quality, you need to get out there. Sorry. I'm not even going to do democracy on that. I'm not even going to say your opinion's valid. I think there's plenty of examples out there that Phil Jones just is not good enough for Manchester United. If you want Phil Jones as your centre-back, take him with you to Preston North End because he just is not good enough. And that's evidenced. He cost us an FA Cup final last year. He's cost us so many points. He cost us a loss at Chelsea last year. He is full of mistakes. And that is Pereira's fault. I'm not excusing Pereira at all. It is Pereira's fault. But why is Phil Jones dithering on the ball and then playing a hospital pass to Pereira? Because it's a hospital pass. You don't want that pass as a midfielder. Pereira should control it and just blast it away. But you don't want that pass from your centre-back with your back to your own, with your back to the threat. You don't want it. And Phil Jones can see the threat and still plays the pass.
He doesn't add up. The way he plays football just doesn't make sense.
Ad says, how many times has Joe made mistakes this season? I don't know how many he's made this season, to be honest.
It's cost us more than the points we're down from 4th. I mean, so isn't that sufficient?
Yeah, we know Arsenal are winning. I mean, can you imagine what them knobheads are going to be saying if we lose and they win?
Yeah. But
we shouldn't be losing to Burnley anyway. I think Burnley are crap. I really do. He's got to make changes though, Jared. I mean, make the changes. I mean, Paul Pogba's just said it in the live comments. He's probably doing it from his phone on the pitch. We need to make some changes quick.
It does not make sense. He's like holding out, I think, hoping this team comes together. And you wonder, he has players on the bench who would make such an impact. Bring them on.
Well, Pereira looks like he might be coming off.
Yeah, now we got Lingard coming on for Pereira, which is excellent. Here we go. Well, experiment failed today for Pereira.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think that Pereira substitution for Ollie, he can't just pull him off straight away after that mistake, can he? Because it's humiliating, but you've got to do it. You've got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's like if you were sitting comfortably in 4th, then you can say, let's see how this game turns out, but we can't.
No.
I feel like we've used up all of our safety nets already, and dropping more points.
I would like to see Sanchez on for Mata now as well.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
We need to get that goal, and then, Burnley are going to spend a lot of this game defending no matter what happens now. How is Mata still on, says Kwesi. It's a good point. And it'll be a bad point for United we won't get any points if we lose, but even if we draw it, I think we've Got to find a way. You got to find a way.
It ain't good right now.
I'm not been impressed by my matter. I mean, I look at the live comments. A lot of people saying it as well. He's just too fucking slow. I love Juan Mata, but he's too slow.
Mata passed to Young. I'm also, I've had it with Young too, unfortunately. I feel like I would have rather seen Delo.
The crossing ability of Young, again, not good enough.
No, and but they're linking up together constantly, Mata and Young, and it's like they're not doing anything. Beautiful interception by Matic, and Mata couldn't get anything out of it, and it was a perfect pass if he had gotten it over the defender. Someone was there in the middle.
A lot of intensity by United, which is good.
Yeah. Oh, well, I got to move.
We're having opportunities to put the ball in the box, but the quality of the final ball has been atrocious so far this game.
Terrible foul by Lindelof. There.
Oh, for God's sake. Ashley Young.
Just we're losing time. We're down to 25 minutes.
Well, this will be an absolute shock to the system. And it's, I know some people would say, well, it's to be expected. But it's we can't afford not to win this game. We've got. I said this before the game as well. We've done so well to get ourselves back into this situation, and we cannot afford to lose this tonight or even draw it. This is not a game to do that.
Just again, you sit there and you know that something needs to happen. Lingard, he's on the ball now. Really nice job getting and keeping control of it. Here he goes. Nice pass to Mata, who seems to move more centrally, and now Young is basically playing as a right winger.
And you know what? What's in my head is, it's at this situation that Rashford miss becomes even more frustrating.
I didn't know if that was honestly a shot by Lukaku and the guy saved it, or it went. That was beautiful. Yeah, that was an insane save. It's unbelievable. This guy is playing.
He's done. I'm pretty sure Heaton's done this before for Burnley at Old Trafford. Suddenly turned into bloody David De Gea. Not what you need.
When you look at these shots, I mean, that should have been a goal by Lukaku, but he dinked it. But again, I don't even fault him that much. It was just it's a nice defensive play. But still, it should have been in. If you look at the shot, it hit right off the defender. If that was a clean shot, it was in. Yeah, I don't know why anyone is getting excited anymore about Newcastle scoring. It doesn't help us.
You're joking me. Fucking now, this night is turning into a bloody nightmare. Somebody wake me up.
Somebody wake me up.
Lukaku's off then. For Sanchez.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want City to lose. Why would any United fan be excited about City drawing with Newcastle? We're losing to fucking Burnley, and Liverpool will win the league. I mean, what is good about Man City losing or drawing? I just do not get how any United fan could want City to not win the league and want Liverpool to win it. Do your history, for God's sake.
Well, that would be exactly what I would have said. Fulham are up 4-2.
From 2-0 down. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Liverpool fans in here. Yeah, I mean, again, it's if let me tell you, if Man City drop points against that team, just bring the title up to bring it up. They already look unbeatable, so now we're gonna have to deal with this. But City can't drop points in this race, or it's we're in trouble.
Well, I tell you what, the bubble could be bursting for United tonight, big time, if these scores stay the same. All the positivity we've had will evaporate very quickly because Liverpool will have a hand on the title if City drop any points. There is no room for error.
Beautiful play. Lingard, I did not like that pass. He went sideways with it. All right. Sanchez. Okay, we got a corner. Let's see what happens here.
God, football, bloody hell. Who said that?
Never easy, right?
2-0 to Arsenal as well. So their goal difference, I mean, even if we win this game, they're going to have better goal difference than us tonight. I said that as well. We've got to at least match Arsenal's score because... fucking hell.
And we have it in the box constantly. We're not doing anything with it. It's just continuous young crosses to Burnley. Mata's setting up. All right, so Sanchez on the ball. Nice pass to Lingard. But the Burnley defenders are doing well, honestly. Making it very difficult for us to get comfortable. Young again. It's such shit. There's such bad crosses constantly to give Burnley every time the ability to make adjustments before they hit.
Well, everything seems to be going down the right-hand side, whereas in the first half we were doing a lot down the left. Mark Whitten says Burnley keeper's doing to us what De Gea did to Spurs. Yeah, you can't moan about it. You can't moan about it.
Oh, great. Jones has it. Jones to Matic. Shaw's on the edge of the box with it to Sanchez.
We're like Moyes, aren't we, against that Fulham game? Just cross after cross with nothing happening. It's so easy for a team like Burnley to deal with crosses. I mean, they're effectively a championship side. What they want is crosses into the box. They want to be defending crosses from the box.
No, you look at it and again, Sanchez has this unbelievable light left-footed cross that he does, and again, it went to Pogba. It was a nice job, but Burnley were ready. We have 20 shots on goal to Burnley's 5. But only 4 shots on goal, and Burnley have 3. So we're not being clinical in any format. Again, we're not playing well. So these are teams who are going to be in the top 4 this year. You have to win. Especially when you've had Mourinho for 6 months.
Just shows you how quick football can turn around as well, because we've had such a good few weeks, and now it's just the pit of your stomach. And it's not being helped by the fact that Man City are doing that as well. I mean, it'd be a fucking horrible night by the sounds of it. But just checking on Man City, they did kick off at the same time as us. So, I mean, Man City haven't had a great night. Newcastle have had 5 shots, and Man City have had 7. So,
again, another push. The ref is John Moss is looking for stuff. So now there's a card going to who? I think Lindelof with the card. This match is going fast, that's true. No, to Mata, the yellow card. I don't understand where that comes from.
I don't understand how Juan Mata is still on the bloody pitch, to be honest with you. How Juan Mata is still on the pitch.
No, and he's so integrally involved in every single thing that's going on. That's what's more concerning. He's setting up everything, and it's not that it's bad. It's just you wonder what someone else can bring. I mean, he gotten Sanchez and Lingard on, so would Carrera be better? I don't know.
Playing Mata, Jones, Pereira, Ollie, you are very naive, says Reaper. I do agree with that, and I think maybe he's managed Mulder in Cardiff, and he's done absolutely fantastically well at Manchester United, but maybe there is going to be a bit of naivety there. ETA Wrestling Figs just need to snatch 2 quick goals, quick time. Not half.
No.
Not half.
Now he's already yellowed Burnley for time wasting. You got to think it's going to get rough now, and that's all they're doing is wasting time. But again, if you look at every single team Mourinho has left, the immediate bounce back of the teams is always really significant. This is why we don't give Ali the job right away, even if he deserves it. You need to see how February goes, which is honestly a very difficult month for us against every top 6 side. So, and who cares about February if you can't get through Burnley? We've scored in 2 minutes before. We'll do it again. Upset with our starting line. Yeah, I think it was a really interesting line that he picked. Lingard here to Pogba. That was a nice pass. Pogba's on it again. Mata. Oh, that was shit. That was such shit.
Mahir says, I'm sorry, but this is going to be a loss.
Yeah, no, you know what's worse? I don't think it's going to be a loss, and I don't think it matters for a draw, because a draw doesn't even help us. So,
no. Well, a law, it's the old dross again, isn't it? A loss is a draw, you know, really. Manager of the month ruins is JFRK0. He might still win it. I don't know if anyone else has gone unbeaten this month, but
no. But again, this was a game that we all took for granted for good reason. And now you can have a double shit situation because again, Liverpool win the league, one City draw that game.
Oh, for friggin' hell. I don't blame Ollie anyway, LMC. I agree with you. I don't blame Ollie either. I think this is about a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is Manchester United, just not the squad. I mean, who's the problem tonight? Ashley Young, Phil Jones, Juan Mata, Andres Pereira, Romelu Lukaku. Oh, fucking surprise, surprise. Somebody wake me up. I'm really shocked. You know, it's the same players, isn't it? It's not. I don't blame Ollie. This is probably why we should have done something in the January transfer window.
Free kick at the top of the box. Look, the fact that we didn't get a defender and we didn't buy even, I mean, you could say a midfielder too, but honestly, the fact that we didn't buy a defender is catastrophic.
Now, this is where Juan Mata can do something. The spot here, it's got Juan Mata's name written all over it. He should rip this is where Juan Mata can do things. A dead ball situation, how many times has he done it? And this is where Juan Mata...
Who is going to take it?
It's got to be Mata.
You
Little dink over the box.
And I don't even know how Heaton's doing so well. He looks like he's...
See, if Mata doesn't score this free kick, he may as well leave Manchester United because he doesn't do anything in open play. But this is where Juan Mata has got a wand of a left foot, and if he doesn't do it,
okay, Mata with the kick or lining up with Sanchez. Sanchez, Mata right into the wall. Horrible. Matic on the edge of the box. Oh, that's bad. Nope, and they called the foul on Pogba somehow. Pogba went for the header, Burnley guy went under him, and somehow Pogba got called for a foul. He kneed him in the face, so that makes more sense now. 14 minutes.
It ain't looking good. I don't think... Look, never say never with United, but... You just think back to that Rashford chance, don't you, after 10 minutes? Some people did say that's going to cost us. I felt it was way too early to cost us, but if he scores that, it's a different game. It's just not happening today, says Kay. Sam Foley says Matt has just failed at the one thing he's good at. Red Baron, Burnley is a horrible team to play against. Stoke 2.0. Disgusting football by them, horrible. Well, they do what they do with the resources they've got. You've got to...
I don't fault Burnley for playing like this. Even if they play boring shit football, we played boring shit football too. So, and they have no money. We should have came with a game plan to be able to break them down, and I don't think the right people started this game.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what he does in the next 15 minutes because it's unfortunately for Ollie, some people would say it's unfair that he's having to audition every single game, but I'm telling you what, this is an audition for him now. Ed Woodward will be watching, and it's like, well, if you can't beat Burnley at home, I'm sorry. You might have won the last 8 games, but if you're losing to Burnley at home, I think there's somebody better I can go for. So,
Bill Gates theory, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
You could win 8 games in a row, but if you lost the 9th, no one cares about the other 8.
Yeah, it's certainly not the first time that Burnley have come to Old Trafford and their goalkeeper's played a worldie. But you got to expect that. We're Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing is going to be people realizing that Liverpool are winning the title.
FIFA scripting, says Flynn.
But I've said, I mean, that to me is as terrible as it is. That was expected. They looked good this year, and Klopp has their fitness levels quite high. Lingard on the edge of the box. Horrible pass to Young, who just didn't know where it was going. senile. He can't see what's going on anymore.
Mr.
Yeah, see, Sanchez is pissed too. Ali's upstanding, but I don't know. I thought we were going to win this whole time, and I still believe that we'll get a result out of this game. It's just it's not enough. Newcastle penalty.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Perfect. Although I don't know what Arsenal 2-1 Cardiff. If that's a fake score, you're an asshole. No, it is not a fake score. 2-1, but there's no time left. City. I don't see it on here. No. Arsenal are going to close that game out. Oh, you've got to be kidding. Rashford, beautiful pass right at his feet. He just completely... It was a lofted pass. He ran in. He was onside. Hits him right in the feet. He can't control it. Right into Heaton. Didn't even get a shot off. No one in front of him. Ben Murphy, that is a very interesting comment once Mark reads it. But
Ollie as assistant next year would be good choice.
I've thought that for a little bit now. I've always thought that with the stock market the way it is, I've always thought Woodward would want a real manager. A big name manager. So you wonder, hold on, Burnley making a run here. Crossing it. Uh-oh. That's it.
2-0.
2-0. That's it. 2-0 Burnley.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fucking hell. How the hell? I don't care who the manager is, and I don't really blame Ollie, but this selections tonight, how do you lose 2-0 to Burnley at home? Who the fuck are Manchester United doing that? This is why Phil Jones should never be near a team, and Ashley Young should never be near the team. I'm fed up of saying how dead those players are in a United shirt. It's absolutely... And Juan Mata as well. I loved Juan Mata. He was good in about 1985. They're finished. Absolutely finished players. And Phil Jones and bloody Ashley Young. Well, who's marking them? That's it. It's game over. It's fucking gone. The winning run's gone. Dreadful performance from Manchester United tonight. And I just said this as well. City are handing the title to Liverpool. We're handing top 4 to Arsenal. Fucking football, eh? It can lift you up and then smash you on the arse. Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. It doesn't matter how good we've been. We're not Everton, right? We should not be sat here celebrating going, oh, well, we've won 8 in a row. We're Manchester United. We should be winning 9 in a row. We should be beating Burnley at home. Absolute shite. Absolute shite. And Newcastle are winning against Man City as well.
Yep.
Hell. Just don't even know. This is what happens when you trust people like Lukaku and Phil Jones and Ashley Young, though. Finished players at this level. 90 minutes at Old Trafford, and to be honest with you, apart from the Rashford chance, what have we done, really?
Nothing.
God. I said this before the game. Look, we've done fantastically well. We gave everybody a head start, and Ollie's done a great job getting us back in back level. But now we're back level, we've stopped running again.
Penalty shot.
Penalty to United.
Oh, okay. So now it seems John Moss has reversed the penalty shot into a
free kick.
foul at the end of the box. You Belland. Yeah, so it was a penalty shot, and he was clotheslined.
That's like a penalty.
Yeah, and then he now has decided to not give a penalty. And if you see his initial call, it was for a penalty. So
there's no chance, is there?
No, not with Ashley Young and Mata here. Young in the middle, perfectly passed to a Burnley player, not to us. Well, Woodward still has 36 hours to invest in someone.
Well, I'm shocked. I really am shocked. But if anybody bet that Burnley would win tonight and Newcastle will win tonight, you're probably a millionaire, to be honest. Okay, now. I don't even know what to say.
We said it after the first half that they had to come out and do something, and it's just they look dejected. The heads are down. I don't know. And again, this is interesting because now you sit there and you look at Leicester and you look at Fulham and you see what Fulham did today, and we know Leicester's going to be tough. And if we drop any more points in these run of games, it is top four would be over, I think.
Well, to be honest, I also feel that we've given ourselves a mountain to climb now. Anyway, again,
we had one,
yeah,
and we eliminated it a little bit, and we made it worse now.
I think the worrying thing for me as a United fan, and probably for you, Jared, and everybody else, is that, like, again, the trust element's gone, isn't it? It's like we've been living on, like, positivity, but Burnley at home, really. At home to Burnley, really? Come on. No United side should be losing at home to Burnley.
And you know what? There was so much continuity in the fan base that you sit there and you wonder how people are going to come out of this. Are they going to blame Ollie? Are they going to blame the board? Are they going to sit there and blame the players? Are they going to say are they going to start talking about other managers? And this is where...
to me, I don't know about you, but to me, I mean, I'm sort of having to think about my match reaction while we're talking because we've got to work towards that. But Matter might give to charity, but he gives us F all, says Tom Watson. I think that Ollie's been a bit naive tonight, definitely. You've got to say that. But ultimately, the problem with United is the playing squad is shit. It is shit. It's inflated. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. There's too many players not good enough. Having said that, why are we still playing Phil Jones? He's played a lot of games. It's not good enough. Ashley Young is an ex-winger. He's not a fullback. If you look at that goal there, I mean, the marking on that second goal is a disgrace.
Ashley Young comes in at the end of it just as he's heading it into the goal. Again, this is not a defense that's going to win titles. It's not. So,
Sasha Joe says maybe Ollie did this on purpose to get a centre-back.
That's a penalty. That's a penalty. Come on.
We've got a penalty now.
Yeah, now we got a penalty. All right, so Jesse Lingard draws the penalty. Very nice play by him. Shit play by Burnley. Burnley defender throws him over. Lingard gets the penalty. Now let's watch Pogba's run up to a penalty.
Well, he needs to be a bit quicker on this fucking run up because we ain't got time. We're 2-0 down. No, don't piss about with your little jog up. Just bloody run up and put it home. In fact, get Lingard to take it because we ain't got time for this. We are out of time.
Yeah, Pogba's lining up to take it in purple boots. I guess blue, maybe. Here he goes, the jog up. He got it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful penalty by Pogba, who, by the way, Heaton guessed correctly and was an inch away from hitting it. So, very nice work by Pogba.
Well, if we can pull a draw out, it's not good enough, but if we can pull a draw out, we'll take it. Well, of course we'll take it. We want to be unbeaten. Of course we'll take it, but it's just not. If we should not be in this situation, I think we all know that.
Nope. It's again, you don't even know what's worse. We have the mirroring scoreline with City losing. Like, both Manchester clubs are losing, and it only screws over us. But City were never going to win the title anyway. It's fine. Told you that. It's unfortunate. Got 2 minutes plus extra time left. You have to assume we're not going to get a very favorable extra time. So they're going to have to do something in about 5 minutes. Let me tell you, if he pulls something out here and somehow, I don't want to say draws the game, but somehow pulls a miraculous win, then you can give him the job.
Yeah, I think we will do. Well, we're hanging on. We're not hanging on. Burnley are hanging on.
I mean, the scary thing is they're not even hanging on. They're controlling the ball. It's in our half. They look composed. We look like we're running like chickens.
I feel that like tonight we've really missed something, and it's not just about the defence. It's not just about Lukaku, and Sanchez has done nothing again. I really do think that Ander Herrera is probably the player that we've missed the most, and obviously Matt has just not been good enough for the position that we need him to be. So
no, and it's like Matic, the people we used to like. He's been okay. I think he's been fine. It's been unfortunate to again see that Jones makes the defense shaky, and thus Young makes the defense shaky, and we can't have a constant back line, which exposes De Gea, and these stupid goals go in. Mata's got the ball, top of the box. Oh my God. I mean, Shaw controlling it like Lukaku. Got a minute left. Come on. To Pogba, top of the box, who is... Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding.
we got it.
No. It's Pogba with a beautiful shot, and Heaton again with some save behind his back with one hand. Beautiful shot by Pogba. Mott is looking for a pass. Nobody's open. 11 men behind the ball, so it's going to be next to impossible to get an open space shot. We're into
Can we do it?
We're into extra time. We have, I'm sure it's 4 minutes would be my guess. 5 minutes. All right, so there's time. Lingard with the pass to Pogba, who couldn't control it. Oh, he gets it back. Come on, Pogba. Come on.
I mean, on top of that, how the fuck do Man City lose to Newcastle? I mean, seriously. How does Man City lose to Newcastle? They don't deserve to win the league.
Nope, and after Liverpool win tomorrow, they will be 7 points clear.
That's gone. It's gone. You can't. If a team can't beat Man City, they're probably going to lose to Arsenal at the Emirates and Chelsea, which will screw us up even more.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ferguson's there. He doesn't look happy, but again, no one can be happy about this. And I have a weird feeling that he's still going to draw this game, but it's not good enough because it doesn't help us. We're still going to be 5 points back when Chelsea win, and then again, it's not enough. At least we play both of them, so we can get the points back. Chelsea and Arsenal. We just need a draw, I guess. Win, but not getting that.
Well, it's not going to be the match reaction I thought it was going to be, folks. I'm putting the link in the video description now, and it'll be live straight afterwards. Thanks for coming on, Jared. I mean, hopefully we're still going to get something out of this. A point could still be very valuable at the end of this end of the season.
Yep, and we got a corner now. Ali almost threw a shit fit because he thought it wasn't a corner. Rashford. Oh, Jones can't even control the ball. To Lingard. To Young. Sanchez. It's in the net.
Yes! 2-2!
In the net.
2-2! Come on!
Off with the goal. We knew it was coming.
Well, we could go and win it. We could go and win it.
3 minutes. We're going to win this fucking game.
Come on, United. Let's do it. Let's bloody do it. Come on.
And to be honest, I thought he was offsides. But who cares? I'll take it. Yeah, the one Burnley defender played him on, so that was unbelievable. Sanchez with the header. Heaton with, again, an incredible save. Jones, sorry, I apologize to Lindelof for referring to him as Jones. Very, very nice. Immediate putback. What a shot, too. It's so composed. 2.5 minutes left.
Well, let's just go for it. Fucking hell, we've got 2 back. If we were to get something from this, it would be he'd basically get the job, wouldn't he? So
yeah, 100%. It would make. I mean, here we go. 2 minutes left. Come on. Sanchez pass to Young. Young's old and he couldn't run fast enough to get it. It was also a terrible pass, so I don't know who you want to blame, but blame them both.
Well, look, I don't think United have been good enough tonight, and hopefully Ollie will learn his lessons from this. But if we could somehow grab a result. Well, a draw's a result, but it's not good enough. But it's not the end of the world. It's not that. Well, it is. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world.
No, and Deitch is throwing a shit fit on the sideline. I think he only has one tie also, which is kind of interesting for him. Wears the same tie every time. He's unhappy. Got a minute and a half left.
Come on. Oh, a bloody goal kick, isn't it? I thought it was a corner to United.
Pogba with a really nice... Oh, that was not... Oh, okay. I thought that was a handball. Oh, that's a foul. It's a foul. Good job, Sanchez. Drawing it. Mata. We have him somewhat exposed, I feel like. Pogba. Oh, son of a bitch. Beautiful play by the Burnley defender, because if that was through, that was a goal. Matic. Beautiful ball control. To Lindelof, who... Going back to Young. We got a minute left, so this is going to be last chance saloon. Lingard. Oh, no. Oh, well, that was terrible. The Burnley defender saved it and gave us the ball back. So,
come on.
It's not out of our... It's in their half. Lingard. We've got to set something up because we only have 20 seconds. So... Oh, it hits John Moss's fat leg.
God.
Oh, that's a load of crap. All right. That's it. Game over.
2-2.
I'm going to blame John Moss's fat hamstring for it. But again, I guess we got to be somewhat happy with that result. As we draw, Newcastle will end up winning. So,
well, Jared, I thoroughly enjoyed your keeping us updated over from America, and it's not the result we wanted, but
no, but at least we came back and fought, and that's something in the past,
Yeah,
take it.
Yeah, and it's different. I mean, I'll talk about it in my match reaction, but look, we didn't get beat.
Yeah. Again, we didn't get beat. I'll look at it like that as well. So. Very nice, and City are about to lose, so that's unfortunate for us. But we move forward.
Well, mate, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
All
right.
I
shall speak to you soon, pal.
Stay well, bud.
Thanks, mate. Right, I'm going to do the match reaction. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Football has that way of doing it, doesn't it? So... Link in the video description. I think it's there. Yes, it is. I'm going to be live doing my match reaction in 30 seconds' time. Get the link in the video description for that. And we will react to a night that we didn't expect. I'll see you over there, 30 seconds. Link in the video description, or you can go through the homepage.